message they cast along and left to you and me. Roll on, America, hail those ferries, hail those bridges. Roll on, America, rail those houses by. Roll on, America, for that sound glory. Roll on, America, when those bridges burn that glory. Roll on, America, we can sing the song of America. Roll on, America.
Roll along. That's what we've been doing, haven't we? That's what we've been doing for a lot of years. I don't claim much for my part, but gosh, when you think of all our American efforts together, I've gone and talked till it's time for the Hoosier to come in. I've got to go now. Say, how about you taking a ride up and down the Monon? See for yourself how she's still helping her part of America to roll along. I can't go with you, but the boys on the train will take good care of you.
Up and down the Monon, everything is fine, 'cause that rootin' tootin' Monon, she's a Hoosier line.
All up and down the line, you can see how the railroad has helped to create American prosperity. Farms producing great quantities of never be fully marketed without modern mass transportation. Factories which assemble their raw materials from a lot of far-flung points and send their finished products everywhere. Towns and cities in which people have grown used to buying things which are brought from all over the world. Our way of life, which is literally a product of railroads at work. Take these factories which make prefabricated houses. Their lumber comes from as far away as the Deep South and the Pacific Northwest. Their steel begins as iron ore from the Minnesota range, ore which is converted in some of the world's largest mills located in northern Indiana. Countless other items have to be shipped in from hundreds of different places in order that one complete house can roll off the assembly line.
Roll on, America, till those ferries get those bridges.
All up and down the railroads of America, this miracle is repeated and repeated. Railroads are not the only transportation used, of course, but because of their tremendous capacity, their unfailing reliability, and their basic economy, they are the backbone of American industry and American agriculture. Railroads like the Monon help out the territories they serve in other ways, too. These great steel highways not only link the communities together, thus helping to create wealth, they distribute much of their income in the communities they serve. Every time a train like this, the railroad will spend $10.02 on the labor and materials to operate the train, maintain the tracks, pay taxes, and other costs. Each mile represents an investment of nearly $100,000 and costs nearly $6,000 per year to maintain. This length of steel rail costs the railroad over $70 when laid. Each one of these new ties will cost more than $4 when placed in the track. Even the lowly spike carries a price tag of nearly 5 cents. The Monon has to haul a ton of freight 3 miles in order to earn 5 cents. Work like this creates big payrolls which are spent in cities along the line. Taxes take a large part of it, too. Taxes consume more than half of the revenue which is left after other expenses have been paid. Every mile of track which this train traverses pays an average annual tax to the county, state, and federal governments of $2,163. Taxes paid by the railroads go to maintain the public schools and to provide other essential services in the community. In many counties, more than half of all the local taxes are paid by the railroads. And on a national basis, the railroads pay out 4 times as much in taxes as they do in dividends to their stockholders. No other form of transportation makes any such contribution to the area it serves. This Indiana, which the Monon has helped to build, is quite a place. It's a place that's fabled in story and in song.
Many are the wonders that are lovely to behold. Oh, nature does her handiwork right well. Lakes and rills and temple hills, this land of ours enfolds. But in one spot my fondest memories dwell. There's a little bit of paradise that all the world should know. It's the shades of India, where the sweetest flowers grow and the softest breezes blow, and there's magic as the seasons come and go. There's a little bit of paradise I long again to roam. It's the shades of India. How I long to sneak down Sugar Creek like barefoot boy with tan on cheek, and wind again white Indiana, and find again my Indiana home. There's a little bit of paradise that all the world should know. It's the shades of India, where the sweetest flowers grow and the softest breezes blow, and there's magic as the seasons come and go.
Spring Mill, the dunes, they're all part of the great picture which the good Lord painted in Indiana, and which Hoosiers have tried to preserve and throw open for the enjoyment of everybody. Take a look at the towns and cities in Indiana, too. They're alert, progressive, forward-moving, full of good, sound enterprise. And they're homey and friendly, Hoosier towns, with all that that folksy term implies. Even the big industrialized places like Indianapolis, the capital, are Hoosier right down to the roots. All of its factories, its varied business enterprises, haven't robbed Indianapolis of that friendly atmosphere which prompted a famous Hoosier poet to call the city high heaven's sole and only understudy. Monument Circle, which is the city's most distinguishing landmark, typifies this survival of the neighborly spirit which is so apparent throughout the Hoosier state. Indianapolis, too, is the scene of one of the world's great annual sports events, the 500-mile Memorial Day race. Each year since 1909, America's most daring drivers have piloted their mechanical steeds around this great proving ground for the automotive industry, and in these grueling contests have tested nearly all of the new developments in automobile engineering. For years, the Monon has helped to bring in the countless thousands who descended on Indianapolis for this event, transported them in an atmosphere of real Hoosier hospitality on its famous Chicago-Indianapolis train, the Hoosier.
Hoosier time, Hoosier time. We run this railroad right on Hoosier time. Hoosier time, Hoosier time. There never ever was a better time. Hoosier Hoosier time, where every golden moment is a time for joy and laughter. Hoosier time, is the best of all.
Hoosier towns, American towns, towns where industry and thrift and independent initiative are admired and rewarded. Good towns in which to locate factories. The whole state of Indiana has an enviable record of friendly relations between management and labor and government. State and local taxes are extremely favorable to business. Transportation facilities and power resources are unexcelled. That Hoosier air is healthy for business.
Hoosier time, we run this railroad right on Hoosier time, Hoosier time.
The present management of the Monon has been extremely progressive in its efforts to provide its online communities with the finest in transportation service and equipment. The Monon was the first Class 1 railroad to become completely dieselized. Centralized servicing facilities with every modern device for maintaining equipment and expediting repairs ensure dependable schedules. Diesel power in all switching operations means smooth handling of cars, minimum breakage or damage to shipments. Along the railroad, vast improvements have been made. Miles of new track have been laid. Lines have been shortened and straightened. Bridges have been strengthened. Some have been completely rebuilt. Signal systems are being continually improved. New interlockers installed to increase speed of train movement.
Oh, up and down the Monon, everything is fine, 'cause that route is built.
All points on the Monon are now connected by dependable overnight freight service. To expedite interline movements, schedules are arranged so that they integrate efficiently with the schedules of connecting lines. This is especially important when it is recalled how many major railroads intersect the Monon and how strategically located the railroad is as a bridge line between its great terminals of Chicago, Indianapolis, and Louisville. Although Monon's trackage is primarily in Indiana and it is known as the Hoosier Line, the railroad is intimately connected with the commercial and industrial life of its great terminal cities in Kentucky and in Illinois. Louisville, the Falls City, key spot in the early winning of the West, hub of a great business area. You've been in Louisville at Derby time, no doubt, or you're planning to go sometime. Come see Louisville, see the Derby, and all the other great attractions this city has to offer.
Say some sensation, what a thrill. If ever you had fun, you will in Louisville.
The folks all head for Louisville.
The ladies with the latest frill. The gentlemen dressed fit to kill for Louisville.
Come along, come along, come along, come along, it's great to see
That field coming on, coming on, coming on. Say, holy gee, it's Derby Day in Louisville. Say some sensation, what a thrill. If ever you had fun, you will in Louisville. If ever you had
Monon town. And Chicago, railroad center of the nation, the Monon's northern terminus. Chicago, brief history as the story of civilization goes, but world capital of many things.
There's a rainbow, Chicago, all our hopes are riding high. There's a rainbow over Chicago, there's a great tomorrow written in the sky. There's a dream come true for Chicago, and that dream will never die. There's a blue sky showing, blue light glowing, there's a rainbow in the sky, a rainbow in the sky over Chicago, all our homes are riding high. There's a rainbow over Chicago, there's a great tomorrow written in the sky. There's a dream come true for Chicago, and that dream will never die. There's a blue sky showing, a new light glowing. Be a rainbow in the sky.
Chicago, Indianapolis, Louisville. The Monon links together these three great cities, a host of fine communities in between. Monon intersects important east-west arteries in its part of the land and serves as a great railway bridge between Lake Michigan and the Ohio River. The Monon is proud of its place on the railroad map, proud that it has helped the heart of America to grow and to prosper, proud that it has kept pace, proud that it's the Hoosier line, because it's Hoosier soil the Monon is in, the Hoosier Commonwealth it has helped to build.
Have a nice trip up and down. All of us on the railroad hope you did. We hope you like this Monon country as much as we do. We hoped you saw how the Monon means something to you, whether you live in Indiana or some faraway part of the country. We think that the Monon means something to you. We think it means better handling of your transportation problems, better travel when you come into or go through Indiana, faster service for your shipments through this crossroads of America. One thing we're sure you will agree with us on. This America of ours is the greatest place on earth. And the one thing above all else that makes it is the fact that so many individuals had a hand in building it up. That secret in a nutshell. Individual initiative. That's why every one of us can be so proud of his own corner of America. That's why I'm so proud of the Monon and of Indiana. That's why those boys down at Purdue, when they sing,
There's something about the air in Indiana. Wanna shout, wanna dance, wanna sing. There's something about a sycamore, the honeysuckle by the door. There's about that Indiana.
Sun and moon and stars, of this nation big and strong, work away, work away. They've opened up a continent from sea to shining sea, a heritage they cast along and left to you and me. Roll on, America, yellow berries, yellow bridges, roll along, roll on.
Hello, everyone. Welcome aboard. It has been a while. It is your host and founder of this wild ride, Demetrius Villa. It's great to be here again. Man, it's been a while. It has been a while. Things have been pretty cuckoo. Things have been pretty crazy. But hey, I'm here. I am here. All right. I'm just gonna put my phone over here so sort of monitor the health of this stream because I don't know why things have been going a little crazy. But hey, we're here. All right, welcome everyone. Welcome aboard. What is up? Hello, Apples. Hello, Akshar. Hello, Aiden. Hello, Mohammed. Hello, Grambo. Hello, Southern Vermont Rail. Hello, Chicago Rail fan. Sorry for the depression fuel, everybody. Gee, ain't America great? All right, come on, you know it. Hey, you know we still have a chance here, guys. We still have a chance. It ain't that bad. All right. For those of you who are asking where the video is that from, it's from the Monon Railway. Let me see if I can. Let me get that. Hold on. Let's go ahead and get that link there below. Monon Railway. There you are. The Hoosier Line, 1950s Monon Railroad. There we are. There you are. Here, pre-stream film. There you go. If you guys want to see the whole thing, there you go. We're half hope. You know, hey, the beard is hideous. Well, hey, matter of opinion, man. That's all right. It's all right. Hey, you know, at least I can grow a beard, I guess. I don't know. I gotta trim it a bit. I just shaved today. But hey, we're here. We are here. Let's go ahead and lower this down just a bit here. I don't know if we can. Whatever. There we are. All right. Well, everyone, we are here. We are live. So I hope everyone's doing all right. Let's see. What year is the California high-speed rail at? I don't know. I don't know if it's in this decade, but I don't know. All right. So let's get down to it. Let's get started. You all can hear me all right? Okay. Good. Okay. That's why it's so big. How was St. Patty's Day? St. Patty's Day was pretty good. I actually made corned beef and cabbage that I put in the slow cooker for since all day, and came out pretty well. Watched The Quiet Man. You know how different life was back then. But anyway, let's get started, guys. Let's get to it. All right. So, bouncing off from Amtrak Joe, the Ballad of Amtrak Joe, which by the way is doing very good. If you guys have not seen the Ballad of Amtrak Joe yet, go ahead and it's the latest video that we have. Just click on the American Rail Club and just see the latest upload. There you go. It's at, last time I checked, I think we're closing in on 5,000 views. So I mean, it's good video that we've done so far. That took me a while to make. I don't even want to touch how much of a pain it was. Over 100 hours, and Vegas just giving me a complete, absolute, SIT storm over it. But we're here, and it's good. All right, yeah. So let's get started on it. So bouncing off from the Ballad of Amtrak Joe, which I'm surprised. Well, I mean, I would say half of you guys are not fans of Joe Biden, and a lot of you guys are fans of him. Hey, it's what it is. The country's in a sticky spot right now. Not to say yeah, it's a lot worse than it means. But hey, we're still here. People are still talking about rail, so I'm still here. Even if the worst case were to happen, we still would have to rebuild somehow. So let's get to it here. Secretary Pete Buttigieg. Americans should have the best transportation services and infrastructure in the world, period. And this is why I focused a lot more on Buttigieg in the video. Because here's the thing, Joe Biden didn't really say much during the campaign trail about it, and it's going to come down more to the Secretary of Transportation, more to Joe Biden. So this was in reply to a tweet by Jen Ju. I hope you guys are learning Mandarin or starting to learn Mandarin. I for one welcome our Chinese overlords at some point. It's the Chinese century, guys. It's there's no way we're coming back from this. Beijing-Shanghai distance, 1,100 kilometers, about 700 miles. For us, Lao Wai, slightly shorter than Boston to Chicago, 1,300 kilometers. Amtrak takes 21 hours, 35 minutes. The high-speed train in China takes 4 hours, 18 minutes, and costs half. The infrastructure difference between the two countries is night and day. It is night and day difference. And then I replied here, I'm not even on Twitter half the time. I haven't been on Twitter since I started this. I mean, for the 5 years that we've had this club, more or less, I'm not a fan of Twitter. It's just too much. It's like, if I'm going to do something, I'm just going to be on YouTube. YouTube's where the fun is at. For now. And I said, we've been saying this forever, but will we finally get it in this generation after decades of inaction? I don't know if there should be a hyphen between inaction or not, but hey, I put it there. And, my sad little tweet reply. I don't know if you guys have Twitter or not. Any Twitter sock puppet accounts with anime avatars, just go ahead and like that and retweet it, I guess. I don't know. I don't have that many Twitter accounts anyway. It's only this and like another one that I have and I haven't used since like the election, and that was it. But yeah, this is important, guys. And again, I'll explain why Buttigieg, I believe, is going to be more important than Amtrak Joe. And here's the thing, guys. At one point I forgot to really make in that video is that now it's just going to be a lot easier for Amtrak Joe, well, not for Amtrak Joe, for Amtrak, to be able to make headways with what's going on. And we'll talk about Amtrak a lot. I have a lot of Amtrak stories at the end of this stream. I mean, man, there's been a lot of Amtrak news going on, and they've been pushing in a lot more ever since they've gotten their new CEO and president, Gardner. So it's been very good for Amtrak. It's really this whole administration. It's going to be easier for Amtrak to get what they need done. Not what they need, but let's put it this way: they'll get 10% more done at the very least, more than when they had Elaine Chao. And Elaine Chao, look, everybody knows it's not a big secret that I was a fan of Trump. I would say up to a point. I would say like after that strike on Syria, it started to the whole hype from the 2016 meme war started to die down. Like, oh boy, here we go again. There we go. Well, let's see. Somebody's making a comment over here. I hope Texas uses... Yeah, Texas is going to use the Japanese bullet trains. That's been set. They're going to use the N700s. Roads transit in Texas from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. How Buttigieg plans to localize the federal transportation agenda, which I think is where we need to go, right? Because having transportation infrastructure, anything done from a federal level, let's face it, has been a complete bureaucratic mess. It has been a lopsided, absolute terrifying mess in order to go ahead and deal with anything through the federal government in order to get high-speed rail, not just high-speed rail, anything rail infrastructure done. I mean, unless you're, one of the big airlines, then of course it's going to be easy for you to get anything done because, hey, you're big airlines and you got the government by the balls. You got if you need $50 billion. Because everybody around the world's getting the coof, all you got to do is just squeeze and they'll squeal and give you $50 billion. I'm sorry, that's a terrible analogy, but it's true. It's true, how long did it take for us to get our 2,000, I'm sorry, $1,400. 1,400, bucks. I hope you guys are saving that or putting it in saving it up, or if you want to put it in Bitcoin or what, that's put it in food or something. You can't eat Bitcoin. You can't shoot Bitcoin. You're not gonna throw Bitcoins at squirrels and they're gonna But anyway, let's go. In January 2020, presidential candidate Pete Buttigieg stood before an audience of U.S. mayors and repeated his call for a Pittsburgh summit on climate to find solutions to the most pressing challenges in infrastructure, climate change, housing, and education. It's time to convene a Pittsburgh summit to convene the communities that have already been finding local solutions, not waiting for Washington to catch up. I agree with that. Look, I don't agree at all with, most of Buttigieg's politics, but, hey, he's right. He's absolutely right on this. The answers don't all have to come from Washington, but more of the resources should, and under my watch will. I hope so, bud. I really do. Let's make this happen then. Buttigieg, a 39-year-old former mayor of South Bend, Indiana, fell short of his ambitions for the White House, but as he takes the reins of the U.S. Department of Transportation, he has an opportunity to deliver a transformative amount of federal money to local communities for sorely needed upgrades. Transportation experts said in interviews that they believe Mr. Buttigieg experiences as a small city Midwestern mayor. I wouldn't say South Bend is that small of a city, but 80,000 people or so. it's a small city, but I mean, it's not as small as some Midwestern cities. When I say small city, I'm talking about like 50,000 maybe. Let's see. Buttigieg is expected to broaden the definition of transportation, boost support of public transit and electric vehicles, and work with other cabinet secretaries. I wouldn't touch electric vehicles too much. We need more public transit. That's what we need. Let me just get some more of my protein shake here. I don't like daylight savings time. I get confused because I was working out there. And I'm like, hey, I'll just work out for an hour. 5 o'clock, got some work done and, go ahead and work out. And by the time I look back, it's like it's 2 hours because I'm so used to just, when it's nighttime, it's like, okay, time to stop. But, let's see. Buttigieg said they will likely keep an eye on the Pittsburgh region. Yeah, Pittsburgh's important because Pittsburgh is right in between the Midwest and the Northeast. That's really important. That's really the midway point. And there's a lot of stuff in Pittsburgh, and we'll talk a little bit more about Pittsburgh too. Understanding local needs, transportation requires massive federal investment that aligns with hyper-local design and planning to address needs that can vary depending on the street. And that's absolutely true. Mr. Katz, who says Bruce Katz, an urban development expert who co-authored the 2017 Brookings Institution study on Pittsburgh innovation economy. That name's familiar. Anyway, let's see. What Mayor Pete understands is how to really connect the dots. Yeah, it's true. Look, you need local. Look, and I know a lot of this club has really started because of high-speed rail, but you need localized transit in order to have high-speed rail and interurban and urban rail transportation. In order for this to work, it's got to have to happen. See where they are in the comments. Yeah, Monero, Litecoin, Zcash Dash. I was all in the Bitcoin craze back in 2017, but the minute my uncle or anybody else starts talking about, it's like, how do I get into the Bitcoins? How do I buy the Bitcoins and the Dogecoins? That's the time to get the heck out. But surprisingly enough, it's been just keeps on going up and up and up. But, good things can't last forever. It's gonna go down at some point. It'll go back down to 20K at some point. Don't bet money on what I say. I'm not a financial expert. Little suburb below. Let's put that down. Let's see. Here we go. As mayor, he oversaw a budget of about $358 million in a city of about 102,000. Okay, 102,000. Yeah, that's not a small city. He now controls an agency with a $90 billion budget and a staff of 55,000. Jeez. 55,000 people in the DOT. What are they doing? He has pledged new federal automotive fuel economy standards to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and install 500,000 electric vehicle charging stations nationwide by 2030. Yeah, Obama said the same thing. There ain't going to be no 500,000. Tesla's done a better job at that than the federal government. Hey, there's some private companies that are good. Tesla is probably one of them. Elon Musk is one of these guys, like, I have like a love-hate relationship with the guy. I was gonna say he's probably, look, he's not a scumbag like Bezos. Let's be honest. He's not a scumbag CEO. Not that bad. Let's see, touting his expansion on bike lanes. Oh, the bike lane meme. He will seek to double the funding for the transportation alternatives program. Yeah, there's some stuff, and you guys have seen this, about, like I said, about the bike lanes. Really, it should be, how other countries do it. Just make separate sidewalks for bikes. Bikes are not motor vehicles. Bikes do not mix well with motor vehicles. I don't know why Americans get this wrong. American cities mostly, Yeah, we just painted, a white line on the road and painted a little stick figure bike. Yeah, there we go, bike lane. That's not how it works. You got to have a separated bike lane. That's not how it works. And they'll spend millions of dollars, not on the paint. They'll spend millions of dollars on the studies, and they'll say, yeah, well, this was a success. It's true. Again, I'm not too familiar with South Bend. I haven't been there to see it. I probably should, especially since I live here in Indiana. Which, by the way, I hope you guys enjoy the pre-show. And again, the link's somewhere up in the comments so you can see the whole thing. Let's see. Floated funding the Federal Transit Administration at $150 billion, an almost 13-fold increase from its current budget of $12 billion. Yeah, it should be true. I mean, look, if we're going to increase the budget let's start from zero and look everything from the bottom up. What is it that we need to be funding? Okay? We don't need to be building any more roads. We need to be repairing roads, and at some point scaling back some of the roads because we have too many roads, and increasing funding for public transportation in cities and other places. We need that. It needs to be balanced out. Balance the budget. Uh-oh, I said the B word, balance the budget. It's never going to happen now. I ruined it all, guys. I'm sorry. I jinxed it. I said balance the budget. Let's keep going. He understands the impact of transportation, not just as a movement of people and goods, but as a community and economic development for a city. Look, even if he does meme transportation, I mean, hey, that's better than what we got, right? To an extent. Let's see. Anything else in this article? I remember there were some things over here. Breaking down the silos. Strategic moves. Oh, yeah, here was the other meme transportation. Electric scooters. By the way, that's probably the next video I'm going to do. I know I said that I've been saying this for like a year until the whole virus just ruined everything and the shutdown. But I think that we're going to get to that. Talking about our meme transportation and how it's really not really working. We need real transportation. Okay. Yeah, but this is what we need. And look. Let's see. During his campaign, Mr. Buttigieg called for a vehicle miles travel alternative that will tax drivers based on their road miles. See, when you do stuff like this, maybe that's not what we need to do. Because you're putting a stick, but not a carrot. The carrot and the stick. Okay. Not that we should compare Americans to donkeys in any sense of the word, but when you're saying people's like, oh, you're using cars because that's all you have, right? So if you don't have any alternatives, you're just punishing people and saying, well, you're driving to work every day and you're driving an hour to work every day, so we're going to tax you for it, on top of the taxes that you already probably pay, and you're probably going to be paying more during this administration. So, yeah, don't, man, nobody really carpools in this country either. It's what, maybe 10% of the people from the last time I've seen it, 80% of most miles driven are single people in cars, so why would anybody just now all of a sudden do it because they're going to be taxed more? So that's really what it is. It's not. They shouldn't do that. Look, if you're going to put a stick, at least have a carrot first, okay? If you're going to do vehicle miles travel tax, then do it when there's trains, and do it when there's more transportation or buses or something like that. Don't do that. But yeah, federal gasoline tax. I have mixed feelings about the gasoline tax. In a sense, really the tax should be on the gas companies, not on the people. But of course, they'll pass it on the people anyway. That usually happens anyway. The companies are not going to pay the tax. They'll find a way to get through it. But reason why I talk about Buttigieg, guys, a lot more than Biden. Just really quickly, yeah. Fumbly bumbly over here. It's not looking good. It's not looking good for old Joe over here. Don't know why. Let's watch this real quick so you can see. I don't know why it's not working here. There we go. Whoop, 1, 2, and 3. Ooh. I gotta say, for a 78-year-old, I mean, he's still walking all right. Those are tall stairs. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Air Force One. It is tall to get up there. But yeah, Kamala is leaving oil slicks on there. It seems because somebody in the comments said in the Amtrak Joe video, it's like who accidentally fall off the stairs, and we're President Kamala soon. President Kamala. That's where we're going. I don't know. Hey, I hope I hope the best for him. I'm just saying it's not going to be too long. I don't know if he's going to be. What was the shortest president we had? It only lasted 48 days. Benjamin Harrison. Hey, he's gone more than 48 days. At least he's broken that record. He'll last at least maybe one term, maybe one. But let's talk about this generation. So this has been the meme now for the month of March. This is on Vox. Have you seen that high-speed rail map on Twitter? If you guys remember Alfred Twu's map, it's been making the rounds now again. He did this map, years ago. I remember having him. I think I remember having him on a stream once. I probably should again so we can talk about this map. But yeah, this is we're hoping for this. Let's see. Kara only has 700 followers on Twitter. The 20-year-old frequently garners a handful of likes on her content, which consists more of takes on pop culture and singing videos. Here we go, the Zoomer generation. I want her so effing much. That's what we want, guys. I think I gave this a like. Did I give this a like? John from Garfield. Yeah, Garfield is also made in Indiana too. Speaking of Indiana memes. Yeah, we so much for this. So much for this. You're not getting no Star Trek, guys. I wish. I don't know. Maybe we will. Maybe we will. We just gotta, I gotta wait for the next generation to, I don't know, trip over more stairs. That was just a cruel joke, but I'm joking. You know that. But yeah. Such as the popularity among Gen Zers of high-speed rail, yeah. And look, Gen Z is pretty much, either uber leftist or uber conservative. You're either a communist or a Nazi at this point, I guess. I don't know. Either way, the trains will run a time, I guess, with Gen Z and millennials. I don't know. That's a joke, guys. You know that, but. Tis only a jest, YouTube. I'm not supporting anything in here, publicly or anything like that. We look at other countries that have good examples of it, and we wonder why our country can't do that. Well, yeah, Kara, there's a lot of reasons why. There's a lot of reasons. It seems like a simple solution that we can't find the reason as to why we're not doing it. Well, only. You only gotta blame, there's a lot of blame to go around, but, yeah. For members of the young online left, and the right too, I could say, the high-speed rail map has become a ubiquitous fixture of politics Twitter. Created by graphic designer Alfred Two, in 2013. Jeez, guys, that's almost, in 2 more years, that'll be 10 years ago. That'll be 10 years. 10 years, oh no. The map depicts a system of interconnected high-speed rail lines linking Los Angeles to New York and Minneapolis to Miami, among other projects. High-speed rail refers to lines that typically run over 160 miles per hour. And yeah, I know there's some definitions, according to, the FRA or the DOT. Everybody's got conflicting definitions of what high-speed rail actually is. Is it 110 miles or is it 125, which is higher speed rail technically, or what that, at least 125 miles an hour is faster than what we have in Brightline. I just call it high-speed rail just to not say higher speed rail and not sound not sound like a floozy. That's all. But let's make it it's high-speed rail. It's faster than what we have. All right. Let's not get pedantic over it. But here's the problem with the map that and again, and I've spoken to Alfred about this, and he agrees with me also, is that, the thing is with this map is that we don't just want this all of a sudden. You cannot just have high-speed rail just all of a sudden all over the place and just ban everything. Look, there's got to be a balance, okay? There's got to be a balance to it. I don't know why my... guys, I don't know if you can still hear me, but the chat's been out. I don't know why. I don't know why the chat's disconnected here. Please try again later. Alright, let me see if I can go on my phone and just look at the chat over here. And see if I can, talk to people here at least. I don't know. If you guys can see me in the chat. There we are. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll look at the chat here on the phone, and then we'll just talk here on the phone. NIMBY's always complaining. Oh well, just gotta tell them to deal with it. Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of NIMBY boomers. That's what we dealt with Brightline. Everybody, between, and again, it's not all boomers. You know what I'm saying, guys. When I say boomers, of course I don't mean all boomers, but yeah, a lot of that generation, is at fault. Hey, it's when we give a lot of crap to the boomers, it's not because they're old. It's because a lot of the stuff that they had is like we look at the stuff that they had when they were kids. Just look at the video we just had. You had all that, and what happened to it? You didn't pass it on to the next generation. Again, not all of them. I'm not gonna keep saying not all boomers. It's just stupid. Not all boomers. We're all intelligent enough to know. But yeah, you wallowed in mud pits in Woodstock, and and took off your shirts and flapped around your titties around for a bit, and yeah, well, here we are. Here we are. Yeah, all the left-wing boomers OD'd years ago. That was Nano Croc. Yeah, I don't know. Some of them are in Congress. Nancy's still there. Old Nancy's still there. And look, they're still in power. Biden's a boomer. Trump was a boomer. Obama, Bush, Clinton. We've been in boomer power for close to 2 generations now. We haven't had a millennial president, not even a Gen X president. Gen Xers, half of them are cool and half of them are just boomer juniors. I don't know. A lot of them still believe in, pull up the bootstraps, and they just basically, cruise through life. And, I've had some Gen X bosses which they're just basically like clueless NPCs, a lot of them. I don't know. Not all Gen Xers. Again, I don't know. I don't have to keep saying it. But getting back to this. What we want about the system is that it's not all about let's just make an international or national high-speed rail line. It's about connecting regions first, okay? You don't just connect, Los Angeles to New York. We're not just saying we want people to go from Los Angeles to New York on a high-speed train. No, that's where planes make sense, okay? We all know the magic numbers between 350 and 500 around for maximum share of riders on high-speed rail, right? Okay. Past 700 miles, it's mostly going to be airlines, and that's when it makes sense. That's when airlines make sense, okay? I'm not saying we need to get rid of airlines. You're going too far with that. We need a balance, okay? A transportation system that makes sense, right? This is the view that we want, when everything is done. Okay, we don't want people to keep focusing on all this. Okay, because then they get overwhelmed and we're like, oh, we want national high-speed rail, and then they're not focusing on the community. They're going to Washington D.C. to ask for nationalized high-speed rail. Well, you haven't gotten it in 50 years. What makes you think you're going to get it now? Because we keep, we're spreading a meme on Twitter. That's what it is. We got to get off of Twitter and actually go to the meetings. I can say that because I've gone to some commission meetings. I haven't gone in a while because a lot of this now has been on there. Hey, I shouldn't have an excuse. They're all online. Go on these Zoom meetings because half these. I'm sorry, boomers cannot handle Zoom. I don't know if you guys saw that Zoom meeting that I think it was like in Britain or something like that. It was hilarious. It made the rounds all over the place, but. Look, this is what we want. Chicago, Pittsburgh, Chicago, Indianapolis, Louisville, Chicago, St. Louis. That's it. You build up. You build right here. You got the Midwest, or you got Miami, Orlando, which is getting done. Or you got Los Angeles, Las Vegas, which is getting done. Which, by the way, a lot of good Brightline news. Okay, a lot of good Brightline news that's going on. And somebody made a good comment too that how ironic is it that Brightline, the only high-speed rail, if you want to call it, the only high-speed rail that's really made any progress in the last 10 years, happened to be in a state with a right-wing governor that was vehemently against high-speed rail. Well, he wasn't. Rick Scott wasn't against high-speed rail. He was just against Obama, and he was just flinging. They were just having a flinging crap war. That's all they were doing. But hey, only time will tell. Would it have been better with the Obama high-speed rail between Tampa and Orlando? Who knows? But hey, we have Brightline. It's physically there. The trains are physically running, and they should be back by the spring or summer. That's what they're saying. So hey, spring or summer. But look at this compared to this. And this is why I was so a little ticked off with the Obama administration. Was they were talking a big game, about high-speed rail. Okay, this is 2008. Obama gets into office 2009 or whatnot, but here we are, 2018 for China. It's only more now. Yeah, this is where they are. That's where they are. They have just moved far ahead and away. And there's a couple of reasons why. And yeah, Trump said the same thing. He talking about China a lot. They had trains that go 300 miles an hour, and we have guns that go chug, chug, chug. Which, by the way, so I got this for Christmas. My fiance, by the way, I'm engaged now, if you guys didn't know. But so my fiance's father went ahead and got me this for Christmas. It's this Trump knife. It says "Buy American and Hire American." Hey, it's a good knife. It cuts. But the funniest thing about this knife, let me just open this up. The funniest thing about this knife is that where it was made, I don't know if you guys can see that. It says right there, it says 420 PRC. PRC, which is People's Republic of China. This is just the perfect encapsulation of that whole entire administration. Big hopes and dreams, only to end on made on the PRC. Made in the PRC. Made in the PRC. That's there we go. Thank you guys. Again, I haven't been able to see the chat on here. I don't know why the chat's not working on YouTube. YouTube's just being a flipping whatever. That's all. Thank you guys. Thank you. Yeah. So this little Trump knife. Here you go, guys. For those of you who still believe in trust the plan or Trump is secretly the president, here you go. This is how it all turned out to. Buy and hire American, made in China. There you go. That's how it all ended up. that was the China. There you go. That was Trump. Was gonna bring all the jobs back. Didn't end up too well there. Yeah, hey, we got taken for a ride. The 5D chess knife. There you go, 5D chess. Yeah, send it back to China. It's a good knife. It still cuts. I keep it over here because I got a 3D printer now. I've been playing around with the 3D printer over here. But I'm thinking of making some 3D trains and selling it. Selling you guys some 3D Shinkansens or something like that on the store. That was kind of like the whole thing. I've been just making BS on it, but hey, or actually pots and planters, because I've been planting stuff in the planter that we have. But yeah, will you be shopping for a minivan soon enough? That's from Stalking Horse. Actually, I don't know. I was thinking of like trading in my car for a truck or something like that, because I don't know. I don't know, guys. I'm a boomer. You're right. Don't know. Yeah, you're right, Jared. Not all, but hey, but a lot of you guys too. Hey, I'll crap on millennials a lot. A lot too many soy boy millennials that are collecting little dollies or just playing way too much video games. There's just some people that just play way too much video games. And again, yeah, I've fallen victim to the video game, the goomers. I'm not, we gotta get off of that. Get off the games and start getting to start getting politically active. Speaking of political, hey, this is good. So Seth Moulton, let me see. I think he's a Democrat congressman. Yeah, believe in Maryland. See Maryland. Can't see now because one of my contacts has gone off. I gotta take these off. Maybe I'll take a short break after I get this article and then take off my contacts and be right back. Seth Moulton reintroduces bill to create $205 billion high-speed rail across the U.S. Yeah, that's what we need, not $12 billion. $205 billion is a start. It's a start. Look, technically, in reality, it's going to be trillions of dollars. It's going to be trillions of dollars for a nationwide high-speed rail, and not just nationwide high-speed rail, but for real infrastructure. If let's put it this way, if the government put all these trillions of dollars of COVID relief into funding a massive labor force of Americans, and I still believe this, so it should be Americans. We should not be just getting labor from everywhere else and making our own stuff. No, No, because China doesn't do that. China doesn't do that. India wouldn't do that. Japan doesn't do that. But we have, for some reason, because it's cheaper. Okay, because it's cheaper for these companies, and then they'll do it. But they'll still be getting sky high rates from the government in terms of cashing in. But yeah, that's what it is. Because I was talking to somebody from California about that, but I'll talk more about that later. Seth Moulton introduces bill to create $205 billion high-speed rail across the U.S. Yeah. That's over the next 5 years to create a nationwide high-speed rail network. The timeline of 5, it's not going to happen in 5 years, guys. Not at the rate that you're going. Yeah, we know it's faster, it's cleaner, it's safer, better for the economy. Okay, look, it's a start. It's a start. At least we have a guy. We have a guy there. We have a guy. We have the chance of coming out of this pandemic to think big and think differently. Let's not waste the opportunity. Yeah. Look, and I said it before I've said it before. This pandemic needs to end. It needs to end. Okay. Ah, man, okay. I got to take off this contact. Let's give it a break and be right back in a bit. All right. Let's go ahead and put back the movie for a little bit, and I'll be right back. Give me 1 second, guys.
If nation big and strong, work away, work away. They've opened up a continent from sea to shining sea. A heritage they cast along and left to you and me. Roll on, America, till those berries, till those riches go. Roll on, America, rail those houses by. Roll on, America, for that's the glory. Roll on, America, when those riches earn that glory. Roll on, America, we can sing the song of America. Roll on, America.
There we go. Can you guys hear me now? Yeah, I had the mute button on. There we go. Thank you. Okay. All right. Yeah, in retrospect, I have noticed that. Yeah, I got to trim this up a little bit more. It's like that the Mediterranean versus the Nord meme. I don't know if you guys seen that. The Med Chad versus the Nord meme. I definitely do have a chin. You guys have seen it. I do have like that cleft chin, the nice cleft chin, versus the no chin Nord man and the Mediterranean man. That is me. Whatever. Anyway, okay, let's get back to this. All right, there we are. What makes sense for 1,000-mile trips? That's what someone asked. C. Yeah, C. What makes sense for 1,000-mile trips? Aircraft. Just take a plane at that point. I mean, look, if you want to take a plane, if there's a train ride between there, it makes sense. Look, some people are, it doesn't make sense to take a plane between Miami and Orlando, which, funny enough, ironically, I did take a plane ride the last time I came back, because I went to go ahead and visit my folks down in Miami. In February. It is way too hot down there in Miami now. I don't know. I've gotten used to going out in 50-degree weather now with shorts up here, and then when I go to Miami, I melt to death. But now, when I went there the last time to go visit them for Valentine's weekend, I had to take the flight back. Of course, the flight was delayed like a couple of days because of the winter weather over here, which wasn't that much. But, it was a nice amount of snow, and I missed all the snow, dang it. Well, I didn't miss it, but I got here to at least build a snowman and go hike in the snow, which was nice. But I took a flight over to Orlando to take a connecting flight over to Indy. And, the time it takes to go to the airport, get in, and then go ahead and get everybody on board, and then take the flight over to Orlando, and then get out of the airport Orlando, that is real dumb. You know, yeah, it's less than an hour to fly, but to get through the whole process of the airport, you know, it will take about the same amount of, it's about 3 hours. You might as well just take Brightline. It makes no sense to go ahead and go that far on an airplane. But let's go back to this. If someone cannot take a plane due to medical reasons and they cannot drive, should they be forced to take a bus? They shouldn't be forced to do anything. They should have the choice to do what they want. Okay? If they want to drive, they can drive. They don't have to be forced to take a bus because of some, tax or whatnot. There's gotta be options for people. That's what we want. And fixing our infrastructure. And by infrastructure, it's not just trains. Our pipes are, our internet is garbage. In a lot of places here in the U.S. I remember, the internet over in Japan was just insane. You'd be out in the middle of nowhere and you'd still be getting internet. It was just insane. Over here, we're lagging behind everywhere. And again, people making the whole 5G. I never bought into that whole conspiracy of the 5G. Really, hey, if the thing about 5G that really want is that's just going to be more surveillance, just faster surveillance that companies like Google and Amazon. That's why they want the 5G. It's not because they're going to fry your body or anything stupid like that. It's surveillance. It's what it is. It's now they can track you within a foot within a milliseconds. That's it. That's really it. Let's go ahead and get back to this. Let's see. High-speed rail is faster. Yeah. Cleaner, safer, cheaper. Yeah. Better for the economy. Better for everything. Better for jobs. Better for the environment. Better for everything. We have the chance of coming out of this pandemic to think big and think differently. Think different. Remember when Apple used to be cool? That was nice. Moulton represents the 6th district and the greater Lowell towns of Billerica, Bedford, Burlington, Tewksbury, and Wilmington. Where is that? Is that Maryland? Guys, let me know. Where are those? Are those Maryland? Where is this guy from? I read some of these articles, but I didn't go through all of them to see where this guy's from. My mea culpa for not looking at this. I should have went ahead and just looked at this guy a little bit more. Just a quick Wikipedia search. Not even just go on Google and say it out there. First outlined his vision for the ambitious plan in May when he released a 30-page white paper explaining how a national rail system would not only make trips between cities quicker and easier than driving, but would also lower carbon emissions, mitigate weather delays, and even reduce the number of travel-related deaths. Yeah, it's true. Look, if we had high-speed rail and I was stuck here in Florida and I needed to go up to Indianapolis so I didn't, melt to death, and my flight was canceled, yeah, would have taken an 8-hour high-speed rail train up, Miami all the way up to Indianapolis. That's not bad. It's a day where I can just sit back, relax, and read a book. Read on my Kindle and look at dumb BS, meme videos on YouTube, stuff like that, and some audiobooks, and be there. And I don't have to worry about getting on and off the plane and all this stuff and whatnot, and all of that, and just get on and just speak. Yeah, it would take the same amount of time. Half these times when you're taking planes, and that was the other thing. It was like a 2-hour layover in Orlando. That's the thing when you account for layovers and flying, especially in this country, it really is slow. Planes are slow in this country. It's more the companies to do with it. But yeah, I'm gonna look at this Seth Moulton paper. Let me just put that in my notes here. I've been making more notes now, by the way. Moulton paper. I'm gonna make just a video of that and just look through it. That's what we're gonna do. What are we talking about? Nicholas Mahoney said. So for those of you guys who just got on the stream, we're talking about Seth Moulton's $205 billion high-speed rail bill. America should be leading the world in next generation infrastructure, and instead we're far behind. Yeah, you want to talk about the game? This is like this is how far behind we are, guys. Here we are. I was in high school. It was Alonzo and Tracy Morning Senior High back in Florida and Miami. And the first year we had our football team, it was just awful football team. I mean, we had We had games where we were losing 72-0. This is where we are. We're in the third quarter, 72-0. China's at 72, and we're picking our noses, on the sidelines, figuring out, whether to throw a pass or to run it. That's where we are right now. The congressman said the project will be funded through grants. Yeah, it should be grants. GM gets basically a grant. They said it was a loan. They haven't paid it back. That's a grant. If you get money and you don't have to pay it back, that's a grant. If you get money and you have to pay it back with interest, of course, gotta have interest. That's a loan. General Motors, through the Obama administration, I'm sorry, you guys that are love Obama or whatnot, he didn't do that well as much as you think. He wasn't the best. Neither was Trump. But Obama was not. They're basically on the same level. You got two mean presidents over here. Yeah, they didn't do that much, either of them. One $12 billion and one some cut regulations, and yeah, now we have PTC finally. But yeah, nothing big. Small steps. Small steps are better than nothing. But 80% of the country will be connected to by high-speed rail within 25 years. Didn't happen, Barry. Did not. It had not happened. And Donnie, no wall from Donnie. No wall. Just a nice fence. The fence that will be gone. Okay, let's see. The congressman said the project will be funded through grants, which it should be. Hey, if we're giving free money everywhere, and the airlines get money, we told the airlines, here's your money as long as you don't lay off anybody. And the airlines went, okay, we're laying off people. We didn't do anything to them. We just let them. Just let them. Based on equity, resilience, sustainability, economic development, potential, and climate. Yeah, equity. And really, when I know they want to make it racial equity and whatnot, it really has more to do with economic equity. It really does. Because everybody in this country, we've been getting poorer and poorer and poorer. We have been. One of my best friends, we've been friends since like 9th grade. He just got a job. This guy I would say, look, if I have 150 IQ, this guy has 160 IQ. This guy is a complete, absolute freaking genius. But, he's got a master's degree, and I believe computer engineering science or something like that. Something along those lines of mathematics and computers. But he's got a master's degree, and he finally got a job, last year. It's good to have a job, especially now. Hey, I really want now too, but hey, he's getting paid less than what I was getting paid in Toyota. I had an entry-level analyst job in Toyota. This guy has a master's degree, super intelligent. He's getting paid less for more work. Why go through college for 8 years of your life and put yourself in a hole for $100,000? By the way, college loans are predatory loans. That's another thing that should be solved. It's a usurious, terrible, predatory loan. You've been telling these kids since they were kids, hey, you can't smoke or drink now at 18, but you sure enough can put your life in a hole. It is a predatory loan. We owe it to the next generation of Americans to build the next generation of transportation, and that's high-speed rail. If ever there were a moment for big ideas that forced American transportation to evolve and put people to work, it's right now. This plan will do that. Former Secretary of Transportation Ray LaHood said in the statement. That was back during the Obama administration. Again, they say a lot of stuff. This is good. Yeah, that's great. But you guys haven't done it. Let's see. While a $205 billion price tag appears very high, Moulton argues that it's less than what the government spends on highway. It's true. How much we spend on highways? $205 billion is what we spend in just 1 year. This is a $205 billion 5-year plan. Okay? And sometimes the U.S. government spends just $400 on just highway, not expansion, highway repair alone. And those repairs don't get done in any timely manner. We spent hundreds of billions of dollars in expanding highways in urban areas to deal with congestion over the last 20 years, and congestion has only gotten worse. Absolutely true. 100% absolutely correct. Look, and you guys, look, I'm fair. If a Democrat says something completely and 100% right, I give credit to that. I give absolute credit to that. He is absolutely right. We have a generational opportunity to invest in infrastructure. We can't squander it by investing in the last generation's infrastructure. It's absolutely true. Not all share Moulton's optimism, however, as many critics of high-speed rail have been born. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! 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 California's rail project, which has continued to grow in cost and missed deadlines since first approved by voters in 2008. Look, this is the problem, guys. Whenever high-speed rail gets done, it cannot be this. It cannot be California. Look, credit to California for actually doing this, but it has not been a very good example. It has been, it's been more of a bane to high-speed rail than it is a boon. In terms of pushing high-speed rail in this country, it has not done well. Every time you try to tell somebody on the fence about high-speed rail, they're going to say, well, what about California? And I tell them, forget about California. Look at Brightline. Look at Texas. But those don't get pushed in the media as much because California is the largest state in the country, and as the saying goes, so goes California, so goes the country. You know, hey, I hope not. We don't want to be, poor, destitute. Where people have Los Angeles, I think, is number one. Yeah, if I remember correctly, Los Angeles is the number one city with income disparity. I hope the country doesn't go that way. But, we don't want it to be, a bogged down project, which, you spend millions of dollars and, years on analysts and all these third-party consultants. Take one consultant, just go and get, either a consultant from Japan or Germany, and there you go. Heck, even a Chinese consultant at this point. At this point, I don't care anymore. I don't care, Chinese century, welcome, ni hao to the Chinese century, guys. That's it. I'm done with that. It's like, you can hate them because they're commies or whatnot, but the Chinese are, they're miles ahead of us because they don't, look, they don't squabble about this. If you squabble with them, you just disappear, they disappear you. That's it. They don't care about, any of this. Still, Moulton remains confident that can weather opposition and that President Biden share an enthusiasm for upgrading America's rail network. Will meet on his go. Well, hurry up, man. Hurry up. Here we go. Wait. Hurry up. You gotta. Let's see. He said in the statement that the bill has been endorsed by the International Brotherhood of Teamsters Rail Conference, Brotherhood of Maintenance of Way Employee Division, and Brotherhood of Locomotive Engineers and Trainmen. Yeah, these are all unions. And look, we had it before in this country. Where, in the 1950s, you could be part of a union, and you could be the janitor at General Motors. You could be the janitor at General Motors. And that gave you enough to afford a house, have a wife and 10 kids if you wanted to, and have a nice white picket fence, have your new, Chevrolet Bel Air or, your Ford Thunderbird too, for the weekend. You'd have enough to do all that back in the 50s, as a janitor. A janitor in the 1950s made more than what an entry-level, college degree analyst makes in one of these, Fortune 500 companies. Okay? And I've worked for Fortune 500 companies. I work for a Fortune 100 company. Okay? This is the problem. And it's going to get worse and worse as time goes on. Look, we hope and pray for the best. Prepare for the worst. Okay? Because, things, unions in this country, again, are a mixed bag, okay? Because if unions are just proposing that we just bring in a whole bunch of people to just, go ahead and take American jobs, that's not what we want. We want Americans that are here, whether you're white, black, okay, to have jobs here. That's what we want, okay? And again, look, if you want to solve racial inequality, give people the opportunity to have, the country's middle class was built on manufacturing work. This country's infrastructure was built on the railroads. This country's modern infrastructure was built on the railroads, but the middle class was built on manufacturing jobs, good paying manufacturing jobs. If you don't have that, you don't have a country. Okay? We can't all be doing, Excel sheets and PowerPoints in a cubicle. That's not work. It's not. All right, let's get some good news. Let's get off the bat. But yeah, this is good. We'll do a video on Seth Moulton. I'll probably just do just on webcam and just talk about it and go from there. Yeah. Let's see here. Must admit, you're correct about California. I live in California, and bureaucratic red tape is monumental. Yeah, that's one part of it. The red tape. The Chinese have no concept of private property ownership. That makes it much easier to lay thousands of miles of rail. Yeah, you're correct, Ned J10. Look, and it has to do that, the Chinese, look, there's pros and cons to having a, diverse society, as they call it. But look at Japan and look at China, okay? They're mono-ethnic, and they can get a lot more done. Because everybody's on the same team. Everybody's on the same team, especially like the cultures of the Asian culture, especially Chinese culture. They're a lot more on board with having team efforts done. Okay, because it's not about individualized culture, which is it's a very Western, Westernized European thing. Which is why, if you look at the last 4,000 years, the majority of wars have been between, multiple European tribes, just mass murdering each other. But hey, we got really good at weapons and stuff like that. Built the modern world on top of the bones of ourselves. But look at China, and look at Japan. They're very much not about the I. They're very much about the we, and it's very much less of an effort to get everybody on board with one thing. Look, China right now, I wouldn't call them completely communist. Because they have a lot of commercialism and a lot of capitalism there. Okay? They have a lot of capitalism. Okay? China's a very capitalist society if you look at modern China. But they've paid a lot in at least, if you guys, this is why it's important to see history. The 100 years of what's it called? Between the Opium Wars and between World War II, the 100 years of humiliation. There we go. 100 years of humiliation of the Chinese, where they're basically getting ripped apart by everybody. By Japan, by Russia, even by Germany, by the United States and the UK and whatnot. They were getting ripped, especially by the UK. You want to talk about those Anglos, man. you want to talk about people who are pretty oppressive. Again, no harm to our Anglo friends, but hey, but yeah, since the Opium Wars, China did not have a good time. So now it's it's payback time, I guess, for against them and everybody else. But here, look, at least we're doing some good things here. At least we're doing some good things. So let's look at this. Well, good Brightline news. Bright and sunny days ahead, guys. Bright and sunny days. Brightline map shows possible paths for Disney Springs Station. And here we go. Yeah, it's from the Orlando airport. Let's see if we can bring this. Oh, that's not a zoom in. Dumb website. Let me see. Okay, does this do anything? No, that's the same thing. Wow. Okay. Well, I could zoom it in, but hey, we're not gonna really get much of a resolution change from there, so it doesn't matter. Brightline is preparing how it may enter and exit its proposed Disney Springs Station, which is good. This is a good place to put it. Miami Intercity Company showed a map during a March 11th presentation. Excuse me, to the Central Florida Expressway Authority on its proposed Tampa expansion. Brightline Vice President on Infrastructure Michael Segelis, I guess that's how you pronounce it, said during the meeting that the orange areas on the map represent the areas of ongoing study as it considers the most optimal routes of its station on the site, for which location has yet to be revealed. I'm getting a little hot with this. The map shows a rather large area where the train's route may lead toward the Disney station and beyond. When the image is overlaid into a geographical map of the Disney area, it appears that the station may sit near the southern end of Disney Springs. If the track veers north, it is shown in the orange outline. It may occupy a sliver of undeveloped land between Disney's Typhoon Lagoon Water Park and Disney staff offices across from Disney Springs Orange Parking Garage. Yeah. I know exactly what they're talking about. Yeah, look, so I don't know if you guys have been to Disney in a while, but they've made a whole bunch of massive parking garages. I mean, they're massive parking garages. I think last time me and Holly actually went there, when we had our little misadventure, we missed the flight to go to Tampa, so we got a flight that went to Orlando, and then we rented a car from Orlando to get to Tampa for one of her conferences. But we took away. We say, let's go to Disney. Let's go to Disney Springs and stop by there and go ahead and get like something to eat. Downtown Disney or something like that. Of course, this was during COVID. This was last year in the summer, no, it was October. It was last year in October. And we go there. We get into one of because all the parking garages were full and the traffic was just horrendous. You had traffic everywhere. So we're like, ooh, okay, so we'll just park somewhere and sneak somewhere and try to get in there. They closed the entire downtown Disney because they were over capacity. But yeah, there's a lot of development going on over here because they've just been building up Disney Springs. Here's an image created by Orlando Business Journal of the proposed track overlaid there. But you know what? Let's go ahead. This sucks. This map sucks. Let's go ahead and open up Google Maps and just look at this. Let's see how the comments are. Demetrius ran late and sweet talked us into a rental. Yeah, Holly fixed it all. Yeah, this is why we need both men and women. Can't be just bashing men all the time and bashing women all the time. We need both. We gotta work as a team here. All right, so here we are, Lake Buena Vista, Disney Springs. All right, let's put this over here. All right, the Chad satellite image versus the Virgin Orlando Sentinel BS image. Here we go. All right, here's Disney Springs. Let me see where they're saying over here. Okay, yeah, so it's the Florida High. Yep. So they said between. Okay. Here we are. Yeah. So this is Buena Vista Drive. There's I-4. But yeah, if it goes along I-4, there's the parking garage, the grapefruit parking garage. And they have to give it fruity names. I'm being serious. It's they're fruit names. not trying to be anti whatever here, but yeah, it's fruity names. Orange parking garage, grapefruit parking garage, lime parking garage. They're fruits, right? They're fruits. But they're looking to having it around here or something. That'll make sense. If you have the right of way through here, yeah. Okay, here's Typhoon Lagoon. There's the parking for Typhoon Lagoon. Here's the cast member parking. Yeah, and you gotta find a way. Look, if they can get it as close as they can possible to here, that would make sense. And I know now Disney, they opened something over here now where they have these stupid little gondolas at Disney. I'm not a fan of the gondolas. I know some people are fans of the gondolas over there. I thought it was stupid. They should have just expanded the monorail. At some point, Disney's probably going to get rid of the monorails at some point. They're not expanding them, but it's going to be too much for them, and nobody's going to maintain them. That's the reality of what happened to Concorde, guys. It wasn't because of the crash or anything like that. It's because they couldn't afford all the parts for it, and it was getting old, and they didn't want to make any more. They didn't want to make any more parts for it. It was too much for them. It was not cost effective. Now that was the true end of the Concorde. Yeah, so somewhere around here, Chase ATM, really? Yeah, Team Disney. Over here, somewhere around here, yeah. You see this Walt Disney Casting Center? Just off topic. This is where they had the last animation studio, 2D animation. The good days when Disney was actually a great company, and they made cool movies. I haven't liked anything from Disney lately. But yeah, somewhere around here is probably where it's going to be. This would be a good spot. If they can get it over here and at least get some bridge over maybe to the orange parking garage and make that garage just for, at least a part of the garage for Brightline, that would make sense. Yeah. As close as they can to get there. As close as they can. That's what they need. Monorail. Shelbyville has spare parts. That's funny. What about M36 Monday for just another holiday? Not quite sure. Are you talking about like the M36? Talking about the BMW M series or something? I don't know. Not familiar with that. In addition to entering Disney, which will serve as the first phase of his proposed Tampa expansion, Segelis mentioned the company is coordinating with the Florida Department of Transportation how the train will enter the Interstate 4 right-of-way toward Tampa. Considerations have to be made for FDOT's I-4 beyond the ultimate project, which could overlap with roadway work near where the high-speed rail service route wants to merge heading west. Yeah, and that's really going to be a big problem, is getting... here we are. Put this book. So you got the I-4 over here. In some parts, you could be able... let me see, that's... No, this right-of-way is a little bit too. And I've driven at least I-4 a whole bunch of times, but... There's definitely a lot of places next to I-4 that you can be able to do it. It can be done. It can be done. Did it just turn nighttime over here? It's like, look, yeah, area guard just turned night. Wow, okay. Thanks, Google. Yeah. There's some areas over there where they could do it. I mean, like, they're doing it on the B line. A lot of it is just going next to it. It's very possible. The minute when you start getting into the Tampa area, yeah, once you start getting over here, it starts to get a little, it gets a little bit more dicey. So yeah, now you're getting into the Lakeland area. It's just possible to get through. You get into the Lakeland area. And then from there we are. Where we are? Tampa. Here we are. Tampa. And then we are at... We're looking here. Yep, here we go. And then the Tampa station is probably going to be right around here. Yeah. So from, around I-4 and then find some way to get there. They'll probably use the line over here. I mean, if it's going to be around that area, they might as well, right? Just share it with Amtrak and I believe CSX. They'll probably do something with CSX to open up another... yeah, there's enough space over here to have double trackage. There's enough space. They can do it. They can do it. Where does this go? Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yep, there we go. There you go. And that's going to cross over I-4. Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's plenty of... There's enough space over here that I can get done. Oh, yeah. Look at this over here. Yeah, they have plenty of space over here. Look at this. Look at how much right-of-way there's there. Yeah. Oh, yeah, this can be done. This can be done. Of course, anything can be done. I mean, look, they were able to get the 8-mile, the overseas highway done over 120 years ago. Without modern technology, without any electricity. They just got it done. It can be done. If you build it, they will come. Let's see. The average metropolitan Orlando resident can access an estimated 5,596 jobs by transit. What a specific number. Why don't you just just say estimated 5,600? You gotta say 5,596 jobs. What happens if tomorrow one of the jobs gets taken and they say 5,595 by transit within a 30-minute commute time? How did I come up with that number? The train would help provide more options and should coexist with... Yeah, we've been saying this for years, guys. Brightline has been our main project here. Meanwhile, Brightline is working on a $2.7 billion, 170-mile extension to the Orlando International Airport from West Palm Beach, which is roughly 49% complete. It's halfway complete. Why are these guys just being so... I mean, I'd rather they were more exact than not, but hey... Service expected to start in 2023 after completion of the route in late 2022. Yeah, it'll be done. It'll be done. Because this is why they're doing it the way it should be done. So this was something that's been basically perfected over in Asia and in Europe. The precast box method. I don't know if you guys, there was this Korean documentary that I saw how they made the high-speed rail line in Korea, and they basically had these precast bridges. And they just put them over, and they could get a mile a day done. The same thing in China. They can get a mile a day done of a bridge. A bridge. 1 mile per day. Okay, so within a year, they're getting about close to 365 miles, give or take. But yeah, this is why stuff like this. And again, yeah, because Brightline is a private company, and they don't have time and they don't have a unlimited budget like the federal government does. So yeah, they gotta do it. Look at this. Speaking of mass transit magazine, Honolulu Rail Project's price tag hits $12.4 billion. That's something we'll look at another time. Let me put that there. Let's see. Honolulu. Ooh, okay, well, that happened. All right. Brightline trains say will become the first in North America to use the box jacking method. Yeah, this is the first in America, guys. We should have been doing this 20 years ago. They've been doing the box jack method for, well, not maybe 20 years, but I mean, well, it's been around for a while, but it was perfected at least, I would say, under the Chinese building of high-speed rail. Let's see, they're gonna begin. It already began and will last until March 30th. So they're about they're getting there. About a quarter way through. During this time, the highway will be reduced to one lane in each direction. Some entrances in State Route 528, and we are in Brevard County, and they're just getting it done. I don't know if you guys have been seeing. Man, I just forgot that channel's name, but I mentioned him a couple times. Let me see. What's the channel that keeps giving those Brightline construction updates? Just put it out in the comments, and I'll just go ahead. Yeah, Chinese did 11 miles a day over 100 years ago. California should use the back box jack method. They won't. They won't because they just want to get more money out of it. They should. They should be using the precast method. And all the videos that I've been seeing of California building high-speed rail, they're not using the precast span method. Roaming Rail Fan. There you go. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Stefan. Thank you, Apples. Thank you, Banks. Yeah, that came out all at the same time, you guys. There you go. Don't we have the best viewers, guys? Don't we have the best viewers? Don't we have the best? We have the best viewers, guys. There we go. Yeah, everybody's saying it. Yeah, Roaming Rail Fan. There we go. Foaming Rail Fan. Come on. He's not that much of a foamer. I mean, he's just taking out his drone and going on there, and he's not speaking over the stuff and whatnot. But yeah, Roaming Rail Fan has been doing a fantastic job on just keeping updates on Brightline's construction. That guy is just, he is one step above and beyond. Brightline should give him a job. They should. They should be paying him for that. That guy is a hero. What a king. What a king. The box jacking system will use hydraulic jacks to push 3 precast concrete boxes, each weighing between 3,300 and 4,600 tons. Yeah, this is what happens when you have ingenuity and you have a deadline. California has this floating deadline. They're not really doing it. I'd say by 2029, but they can just keep pushing it. They're not going to be in trouble for it. Brightline will because they have they're on. They're on a SHIT list if they don't pay back their their bonds and whatnot. Speaking of, here's another good guy. So Reiniger is now CEO of the Brightline company now, and Reiniger has been a very good guy. I've personally talked to him several times, during lunch when I was interning and working with Brightline and working for Brightline. I was working for Brightline for a bit. Very good guy. He's on top of it. He's returning back to Brightline, this time to lead the Transit Systems U Holding Company's Brightline Holdings. So yeah, so if you guys, Brightline now is Brightline Holdings because of Brightline West between Las Vegas to Victorville, which will eventually connect to Los Angeles. I should just say Los Angeles, LA to Las Vegas. That's really what it's going to be. LA to Las Vegas, and we got here, of course, Miami to Orlando to Tampa. And hey, even more from there, we could get to Jacksonville and further beyond. And this is to go further beyond. Brightline's power levels getting higher. Brightline President Patrick Goddard will continue to lead the company's Florida operations and commercial efforts, while Sarah Watterson will remain Brightline's Chief Development Officer as well as President of Brightline West. So yeah, there's technically two. I'm not saying two companies. Well, there's two organizations within one large holding company. That's what it is. And of course, you have Fortress Investments and SoftBank, invested into it. But I don't know if we're going a little bit too deep in there. This is pretty good. Reininger in 2012, joined the company then known as All Aboard Florida as President and Chief Development Officer, and we're excited to welcome him back as Wes Edens, Chairman of Brightline and co-founder of parent company Fortress Investment Group. His track record, railroad pun. Speaking of, well, got a drink. This here is one of my favorites. This is Iron Maiden's Trooper. I'm a big Iron Maiden fan. I love speed metal and 80s metal and rock in general, but this is pretty good. And this has taken me like a while to find it over here. There's a really good liquor store down the street which has like really good unknown, like not all the crappy craft beers, but like some unknown beers, and this one's really good, so I'm gonna have a little bit of this. It's Friday. It is Friday, guys. I'm gonna have it. So cheers. Here we go. It's an English ale. There we go. To more rail puns, sir, and hopefully to the success of Brightline. There we are. His track record in the financial markets and as a major developer positioned Brightline for success as a pivotal time for high-speed rail and infrastructure investments in America. Yeah, this is good. The service will resume by the end of 2021. There we go. And expected to be completed by late 2022. They'll get it done. They'll get it done, especially since they're not doing service now. They're just putting all their apples into just build it. That's what they're doing. Yeah. So if you guys want to see, this was back when I was working with Brightline. I filmed this for them and I edited and whatnot. I did a terrible job with the contrast here. I just got a new camera and I was messing around with it and whatnot. But here, so you guys can see this. Let me pause the.
And behind us is the construction site for Miami Central, which will be the hub of transportation for all of downtown Miami, and in fact will help connect downtown Miami to the rest of the state, importantly to downtown Fort Lauderdale, downtown West Palm Beach, and ultimately to the Orlando International Airport and the entirety of the Central Florida marketplace. So the beginning of the construction activity for what will be a very important new facility here in downtown Miami is underway. We've got the underground foundation work in full bore here in Miami Central. We have about 60-some people on the site today, heavily engaged in putting the pilings in the underground.
How time flies.
To the ground. We've got ultimately some 1,600 piles that will be put in the ground. Well over 1,100 of them already in, so we'll be completing all that piling work during the month of July. We're very near the heart of Miami Central here, actually.
That exists now.
Metro rail and metro mover stations that will be connected into the intercity stations. That'll happen in the Miami Central facility itself, and so we're really right in the.
I just want to pause here, guys. Isn't it just incredible that in the time that we've been saying all this, video has none of the audio of it working. That's probably because I have the desktop audio down. That's why. Here, let me just start it back over here. Hopefully, no, that'll make it too loud. Let's put it down to 3 decibels. That's the industry standard.
All that piling work during the month of July. We're very near the heart of Miami Central here, actually. This being one of the 2 metro rail and metro mover stations that will be connected into the intercity stations. That'll happen in the Miami Central.
Yeah, it feels like just yesterday it was called All Aboard
Florida. We're really
Florida.
right in the middle of the facility as we stand here on this platform.
Yeah, isn't that incredible, guys? That this was 5 years ago. No, a little bit more than 5 years ago. 6 years ago, and it's here. Florida absolutely mogs California. Come on, give Florida man some credit. He may be crazy, he may be addicted to bath salts and being lewd with alligators, but Florida man can definitely kick California man's rear end. Not only that, it's just that's like a 5-second UFC match. You put California man versus Florida man. All my money's on Florida man. Florida man rocks. Florida man, Florida man. That should be the new state theme song. Speaking of, Florida man has to deal with little Richard Branson over here. Virgin. The Virgin versus the Chad Brightline. Here we go. Virgin sues Brightline over end of the licensing agreement. You guys are losers, Virgin losers. Who puts all their all their holdings on on all the companies that Branson has in the Hyperloop during the pandemic. what a loser businessman. I mean, look, I'm not to completely, crap all over Branson when, especially like, a couple years ago, I was saying, oh, Branson or whatnot. Look, I was mostly doing it because, it's good for Brightline. Okay. Was that being, a little bit too much? Yeah. But hey, I was, it was more of an introduction to who Branson is, what has he done and whatnot. But yeah, when I did that video about, when, Brightline splitting away from Virgin, it's true. Virgin has not been really, it hasn't been, relevant in, like, since 1999? Hasn't really been relevant. And now they're getting into the Hyperloop scam, so yeah. So yeah, now we can just, get rid of this now. Now they're just being, dicks. I gotta look back into this a lot more, and that's another video I've been planning to do. Probably I can get it out this next week. Oh, you know why? Because I have this on my laptop over here, and it's hitting the space bar. That's why. Let's put this over here, Virgin. Sue. There we go. Virgin Sue. The Virgin Sue. Virgin Enterprises, the corporation headed by Sir Richard Branson, is suing Brightline over the rail operator's decision to drop the Virgin Trains name. Saying Brightline is reneging on a 20-year licensing deal by claiming the Virgin brand has been damaged and was no longer a brand of international high repute. A claim the suit calls cynical and spurious. No, it's true. It's true. Brightline and Virgin Trains announced their agreement in 2018, but Brightline said it would exit the agreement last year. The suit seeks to amount Virgin says it would have covered in royalties at this point, plus an early termination fee. Jeez. Wow. Early termination. Okay. I gotta look into this. Let me see. Was this BBC article say anything more? Yeah. Well, you don't even have a train anymore, buddy. You lost that deal. Difficult year for Virgin. Yeah, it's been a difficult like what decade for Virgin. They've been doing well forever. I gotta look into this more because again, one of the reasons why I said that maybe Virgin, no, not Google Maps. One of the reasons why I said Brightline didn't want deal with Virgin is because most likely Virgin did not pay up its end of the deal. So look, this could be a number of things. It could either be Virgin is really tight for cash. And this is a publicity stunt in order to go ahead and collect cash at this point, because the country is basically solvent. The country too. I mean, we're $30 trillion in debt, but the company is basically bankrupt at this point. I mean, technically it should be if you look at their accounting papers. They don't really make any money. They haven't made any money for a while. So I think they're just looking for cash at this point. So it could very well be. Look, I'm just giving possibilities of what it could be. Okay? And, could it be a possibility that Brightline, rightly screwed over Virgin? That's a possibility. I don't know. Look, we don't have 100% of the details, so all we can do is speculate. Like I said, back in January when I was warning about the virus, we didn't have that much information, and I was making, Fallout jokes and coming into the stream with a whole hazmat suit and whatnot. That was funny though. Those were funny times. But yeah, look, at this point, when I thought back then in January, look, all we were seeing was videos of piles of dead bodies or something like that all over China. It looked like something you see in history books and something like that. So all we could speculate was the worst was going to happen, and then it wasn't as bad as we thought. It wasn't as bad. But yeah, I love Lennon Beard Zone. Yeah, I got it's not Lennon Beard, guys. Screw Lennon. F Virgin Group and all my homies hate Virgin Group. Yeah. Just again, okay, yeah, Holly. If Demetrius does his weekly again, would you guys be willing to send in questions, say up to 24 hours before? Here's another thing, and I've been talking with Highcast about this. Do get involved in our Discord group. So we have let me see, right here. Join our Discord group. I have it also pinned in the comments. So for those of you who cannot type, you can just click. There you go. You can just click it in there. Join our Discord group, because next stream, what I want to get set up is to take in call-in questions. We're going to do call-in questions next soon, so we can start really having, and maybe some debates and stuff like that. So we can talk about and have some political debates about rail. Nothing too political, because if we're just talking about politics, we're not getting anywhere. But yeah, rail is political, and I just try to stray away from the politics of it, because then I'll just lose my mind. But yeah, this is where we're at right now. And again, my speculation, and from some of the information that I got from people that work at Brightline, was that Virgin wasn't paying up their end of the deal. They said that Virgin was going to pay this much at the end of the deal, to license it, and Brightline said, yeah, sure they will, as long as Virgin does this amount, because Virgin was going to invest in Brightline, and they never pushed that money in. So, and I have to look at the specifics of the deal. Okay, you gotta put on the lawyering glasses over here and just say look, if Brightline has a point, and look, I've known Brightline's lawyer. He's a good guy. If he's still there, yeah, that guy's really good. Shoot, I forgot his name. Was it Woody? Darn, I don't recall the Brightline. I don't know if he's still there too, but. He's a really good lawyer, and look, they know their stuff. They have a whole team of people there, of legal team. They would not cut the deal with Virgin if they knew what was going on. They would not do that. So, yeah, let's see. I'll look into that more, and we'll do a video on that later. Transportation bill. Let's look at this now. Here we are. This is House Bill 394 and 399. We're talking about here. The House Transportation Committee on Monday. This was March 9th. Advanced two bills, one lowering toll rates for small trailers, and another creating a forum on future railway infrastructure. Excuse me. All right. So yeah, both of these went through the housing committees, and 13-0. So yeah, so both Republicans and Democrats voted on this, and unanimously put it through. Because these committees are usually half. You have like 13 or so, or like seven Democrats at this point now, since they have the House, and like 6 Republicans or whatnot. So yeah, something like that, or somewhere along the lines of like maybe 9 and 4. So yeah, let's see. So cutting out let's see. Oh wait, or is this a state bill? No, sorry, this is Illinois. My bad, I didn't read this. I just found this interesting. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just add this to here. Okay, so this is an Illinois state bill. Yeah, well, same thing goes for probably the House of Illinois. Yeah. Okay, well, this is not that fun of an article. Yeah, this is a boring article. Okay, well, yeah, so they're pushing it more in the state of Illinois, which is good. Let's see what they're doing here on rail. Just Control F here. Not gonna waste my time just reading the whole thing. Just do big IQ moves. Oh, everything is trailer. God dang it. There we are. Railway Commission. I should have just looked at that. It was bold. Here we go. House Bill 399, which would create the High-Speed Railway Commission to explore new infrastructure for electrified trains and buses, also advanced Monday. That's very good. There we go. So you see, this has more of a chance of getting anything done than anything passed through the federal Congress. The commission would create a statewide plan for high-speed rail line and feeder networks connecting St. Louis and Chicago that includes current existing Amtrak and Metro services. It would also connect the cities of Rockford, Moline, Peoria, and Decatur, and use intercity bus service to coordinate with the rail line. Yeah, this is good. There we go. Hey, it's Rick. Rick Harness, Executive Director of the High-Speed Rail Alliance, said in his testimony that the commission would create a forum for people to talk about what the statewide transportation network looks like and how it can be implemented. Yeah, Rick's another king here. Rick is just another hero for high-speed rail. Very good guy. By the way, if you guys have seen the last interview that I had with him, very good. He's a great guy when it comes to all the stuff that he's been doing for high-speed rail. There you go. Here, look, it's an example of a baby boomer who's really pushing for high-speed rail. Hey, like I said, it's not all of them. Yeah, the majority of them. But here's one who's bucking against the typical boomer NIMBY, and this guy is not that at all. He's a very well-to-do, intelligent guy who just wants the best for everybody. Very good guy. And I've had lunch with him several times and talked with him on the phone and whatnot. Very good guy. Yeah, if you guys aren't a part or getting like some emails from the High Speed Rail Alliance, I do urge you to do so. Which, by the way, we'll talk about the High Speed Rail Alliance here pretty shortly because we're talking about this. So Yeah, it's just, again, since we are the American Rail Club, but we also talk about what's going on in the rest of the world, so we can learn from it. Could trains replace planes on Lufthansa's domestic routes? So it's not new that in places, especially in Europe, where there is no domestic flights to some different city pairs because rail serves the most amount of market share, and it just makes sense. If you have places where you're just getting 80% market share of rail, then there's no need to waste money and fuel on operating even a budget airline. Budget airlines are just another scam themselves. Oh man. Lufthansa today revealed that this operation to operate new Sprinter trains to select major cities from Frankfurt as part of a rail and flight partnership with German train operator Deutsches Bahn. The high-speed trains will reduce train journey times to major cities from the airline's Frankfurt airport. Yeah, and that's the other thing. A lot of European cities also have, rail stations within their airports, which, we do here in some. Orlando's going to be, I would say the biggest one that's coming up next. And we did a, look into that. We snuck into the Orlando, station, although I think it was just open and we were just the only ones there. Whatever. I'm taking credit for sneaking in. Who cares? Legally. I legally snuck in, so I cannot be... I don't know. I think... I guess not. Around the world, the airlines are focused on their emissions. In some countries, high-speed rail poses a serious threat to short-haul aviation. Yeah, it's true. Let's see what this article says. Impact of high-speed rail on China's domestic aviation market. Yeah, that's the other thing. China does have a massive airline market. But again, the Chinese are intelligent. They're not, they're not going to fall for our own stupidity that we do over here in the U.S. And they're China number one. Yeah, that's what they're doing. That's what they care about. As we say over here in the United States, America's the best country in the world. America number one. Yeah, well, not looking good there. But yeah, let's see. That's something we got to talk about. We got to talk about Chinese high-speed rail too. That deserves its own episode. I think it's better now that I'm not so so salty about China or whatnot. It's like they basically won. They won the century. Greater integration with Deutsches Bahn. So yeah, this already happens with some airlines over. Actually, in the United States here, Amtrak already has some plans with United. That you can use the United card or the Amtrak credit card and get points. For Amtrak, and if you're going from New York and DC and flying from DC from Dulles out to somewhere else, or from I guess Kennedy, vice versa, you can be able to book flights and book your train ticket on both and get a discount. So hey, both can work together. There's no reason at all why we're just bucking across and just saying, oh, no more airlines, and just saying just high speed rail, like which I don't think AOC really made that up. That Green New Deal was made by somebody else. I think you guys can know I'm not that big of a fan of AOC, not at all. Only I could be in Congress, but hey, I don't know how she got there, but there's some talk about how, but yeah, hey, that's not my thing. Lufthansa is looking towards greater integration with Germany's rail operator to try and make traveling. Which I'm not implying anything, by the way, about AOC. I'm just saying that there are rumors. That's all. But she's a puppet. We know that. Hey, some of the ideas from the Green New Deal make sense. Yeah, but that's obviously a plan made by big business. You have questions you're not answering. Okay. All right, guys. Yeah, let me just. Sorry. Guys, if you have any questions here, again, I'm sorry because my computer, for some reason, YouTube Studio is saying unable to connect to chat, so I got to look at the chat over here, which I got to make my eyes down over here. But yeah, this makes sense to have this. And then we're looking at high-speed rail alliance. Again, the same thing. Can we do the same thing from O'Hare? Yes, we can. So again, it makes sense. So let's look at some guys. If you're gonna put some questions below, and I'll answer them. Let's take a break and answer some questions over here. I'll take a drink too. Looks like we have more questions on Texas high-speed rail in California. Yeah, YouTube is weird. YouTube has been sucking pretty hard. How is Amtrak doing with its new rail expansion? We'll be talking about Amtrak in a bit, especially over the New Orleans line. Which, that's good, that's coming back. Hope Texas Central reconfigures its route to connect to the Houston and Dallas airports, as well as eventually going to teach cities downtown. Yeah. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Again, it's been a little... We're trying to catch up on news and what here. It's going to be a longer stream since, we haven't done a stream in a while. Sad frontier noises. This is from Ned J10. What might be interesting to explore, Dimitri, is how the Northeast Corridor became Amtrak-owned track that leads access back to the freight railroads versus the rest of the country. It was because most of the railroads were mostly owned by the Pennsy and by other corridors up there in New York Central. So they were mostly passenger lines, period. And the deal that they did, with the passenger rail lines and Amtrak in '71 just gave Amtrak those lines. So Amtrak got some infrastructure. Well, yeah, the infrastructure that they own there completely, as well as the passenger trains and the rolling stock that they now own, which we'll talk about now. They're making some 50th anniversary liveries for Amtrak and some paint jobs and paint schemes, whatever you want to call it. Mark my words, in 20 years, the only airlines that are regional left are Alaskan, Southwest, Frontier, and JetBlue. That's from Eric Gustafson. Yeah, hopefully not Spirit. I hate Spirit Airlines. I can't stand Spirit Airlines. The last time I went on Spirit Airlines, they were making a bigger deal, not about masks. Like, of course, but now you have to wear the actual paper masks that they give you. You have to pay $3 for it. That they say, oh, we're donating to the American Red Cross. Yeah, BS. You're pocketing $2.99 of that, and you're probably giving a cent to the American Red Cross, if that. You pieces of crap. But they're making a bigger deal. Like, not people wearing masks or whatnot. Because some people were just wearing the crappy cloth masks that go around your ear loops. Oh, none of those masks do anything. You got to wear like an N95 mask to really do anything. But they're making a bigger deal to make sure they can just get more money out of people with their bags. So if you had like a bag that looked like if it was any bit big, they were like making everybody, oh, your bag's we gotta check the dimensions of those bags. So maybe we can get like $65 out of you for your purse. That's all they care about. Disgusting. I hate Spirit Airlines. They're a terrible airline. Your opinion on CSX abandoning the line to Homestead, Florida? Yeah, I mean, look, because the thing is that there's not really much going on in Homestead. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense for CSX to keep that line going. There's not that much freight traffic going on at Homestead, and you got a lot more going on with FEC in that area to the port and whatnot. So yeah, there's a lot more truck traffic going on between the port down south, because there's not that many people going in and living down south in South Florida. So yeah. Can you zoom in on the map? Oh, we're talking about the map over here. Let me see if I can open the image in the new tab. There we go. Yeah. Rick does a good job with the website. He's got some pretty good guys on the website that they're not dummies. So it's not like regular the mainstream news websites. The lamestream media. These websites are actually pretty good through here. Yeah. So this is what a potential high-speed rail system would look like in the Midwest. Look, in places like the Midwest, that makes sense because you have a lot of high density, higher density cities with massive populations or big populations that can easily be connected. Here you go, Indianapolis to Chicago is about 240 miles. There you go. You have like a 90-minute trip on high-speed rail, at the very least. Indianapolis to Louisville. There you go. To Evansville. There you go. Chicago, Champaign, Urbana. Indianapolis to Fort Wayne, to Toledo, to Detroit. Cleveland. I don't know. Well, I don't know. Cleveland, Detroit. You probably get shot in either of those two. I don't know. Oh, Columbus. There you go. Columbus, Ohio. Cincinnati. Cincinnati's a very nice city too. Pittsburgh. There you go. And see, Pittsburgh is very important. Well, I don't know if you guys can see Pittsburgh here because the way I have this cropped over is to But yeah, pretend Pittsburgh is over here, a little bit more west of, east of Toledo, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh. There you go. But yeah, this makes sense. Let's see. Yeah, from Chicago, 1 hour, 2 hour travel time. So yeah, about 90 minutes. And there's existing routes already there that can be done. Look, it's not that it's hard to do. It's available. It's easy to do. Look, if this country was a country that we're making fun of, back in the 1950s, I don't know if you guys remember, the Christmas Story, which also another Indiana movie, by the way. A lot of Indiana movies for some reason. But yeah, the Christmas Story was based and made here in Indiana. But hey, they're starving people in China. Well, they're not so starving now. Which, by the way, they have more of an obesity problem now in China than anything else, because they have like so many boys now from having decades of the one-child policy until it was ended in 2015, and they have what they call the little kings. So they have these big fat Chinese baby boys, which are now big fat Chinese baby not babies but men. But yeah, they'll probably fix that problem because they're not pushing hard to have PE mandatory for the Chinese. But yeah, they're not falling for the whole gender trap that we in the West have. Their military is not going to be falling in the same. And look here, look at this. This is Europe, and that's the Eastern. Most look like 80% of the U.S. population is passed over here. Yeah, there you go. Look, Europe. You have European cities. Look, it's funny enough that Spain is about the size of Texas. Which, funny enough, they got a Spanish company to do most of the construction there, the consortium to do the construction, along with the Japanese that are going to be doing the trains. Yeah, Madrid and Barcelona, as they would say it over there, is in Catalonia, or Catalonia now instead of Spain. Well, I don't know. It's a made up imaginary country, about as imaginary as Australia. If anybody's been going on with the meme, can you read the solution? Yeah, let's read the solution over here then. We'll do that, Adam. The CEO of what is an evil mammoth? Yeah, of Spirit Airlines. Yeah. Let me go down here in the comments. We got a lot of comments here. Yeah, okay. So let's look at the solution here. Solution: trains to the planes. The truth is, it doesn't have to be this way. Yeah, the way it is, and it shouldn't. O'Hare does long-haul domestic and international flights really well. So it's odd that much of its capacity is devoted to tiny puddle jumper planes that shuttle people to O'Hare from around the region. These connector flights are frequently canceled in bad weather or when passenger loads are light. Yeah, I did once have to take a connecting flight from Indianapolis to Chicago only to go down to Miami. That was stupid. It was just an hour flight to Chicago. I'm waiting there in Chicago for 2 hours to take another flight. It's like, this is just dumb. This is just inefficient. Dumb. So business travelers often rent a car instead of taking the risk. It's a radically inefficient system. Yeah, it's inefficient. It's dumb. It makes no sense for anyone. Not for airlines, not for travelers. Well, it makes sense for airlines because they get money off of it. Well, not that much money, but hey, it's like the airlines are thinking, well, could I get like $2 off of these people instead of them going on rental cars? Yeah, and I'll also get money from the government too for essential air services. We'll call it that. Yeah, and it's certainly not for the airport itself or the city of Chicago. Replacing puddle jumpers with train service will open capacity for big planes and long-haul domestic and international flights. It'll introduce reliability to the system, and it'll be a major win for everyone, absolutely. A Midwest high-speed network would put 45 million people within a 3-hour train ride of O'Hare. Most trips will take less than that, of course. Instead of idling in traffic jams or sitting in the airport or on runways, travelers can work on the train or just relax. Yeah, and this works not just for O'Hare Airport, but for other airports. The airport in Cincinnati, or it's like Cincinnati, like Louisville Airport. It's like in between all of them. It's weird. It's like in Kentucky, like right on the border of Cincinnati. That's a good airport. Indianapolis Airport. The best airport in the United States is definitely Indianapolis. It's just an easy airport to get into. It's just nice and comfy, and the food's good. Not at all. It's a very chill airport. I'm getting things that some people are here talking about. Any plans for high-speed rail in South Carolina and North Carolina? Yeah, there have been. There was a lot of talks between Atlanta to Charleston. And also Brightline is looking to at their, and like I've talked to people in Brightline, and hey, if you remember the documentary The American Train, hey, they were talking about Charleston to Atlanta, so that's a possibility. That's very much a possibility. When there's more information on that and more news on that, yeah. Let's see. O'Hare charges more in landing fees for big planes and small ones. Chicago will also bring in more money that'll help pay for airport's ongoing expansion project while allowing O'Hare to do what it does best. O'Hare is just like an older airport. It needs to be fixed up. They are fixing it up, but slowly but surely. If you guys remember Home Alone, yeah, it looks exactly the same as in Home Alone. I remember just walking through the same exact part where they filmed the family running down. The little that part, yeah. I've walked through there. It's like, this looks exactly the same in Home Alone. Since longer flights are more profitable than puddle jumpers, more of them means more revenue for the airlines too. Yeah, well, the airlines are greedy. A bonus: trains will slash carbon emissions dramatically. Yeah, just do it. Just do it under the guise of an environmental bill. Just punish the airlines like that. That's what we got to do, because they just won't. The train station at the airport, big train station, yeah, that'll work. Select track upgrades, yeah, between O'Hare and Chicago. There you go. Crossrail Chicago and immediate connections. And new trains, yeah, like electric trains. High speed, 220-mile-an-hour bullet trains. That's what we need, guys. What year is Brightline to Orlando Station open? 2023. 2023. The Lords of Florida deem it so. Here's another article from the San Francisco Chronicle. High-speed rail is about jobs, climate, and justice. You can tell, when they put the justice word, it's kind of left-leaning. But hey, I get articles from everywhere. I don't care if it's the Daily Kos or some right-wing website or whatever. It's just we're just looking at all perspectives. We just want the truth. I want the truth. But the government deems it so that we can't handle the truth. Hey, I like Essential Air Services. Cape Air is awesome. Yeah, well, I mean, do we really need it? That's the thing. That's the thing, guys. How do you think China's aging crisis will affect its high-speed rail network? Are we talking about the aging population? I mean, they have 1 billion people, and look, the Chinese are going to go ahead and do. I remember looking at. I think it was Hungary. Hungary did some sort of plan in order to get native Hungarians in order to basically have families get married and make babies, and it's been actually working pretty well in Hungary. So could China do the same thing? And again, Hungary is mostly mono-ethnic. It's like 95% native Hungarians. So yeah, China could probably do sort of the same sort of thing. Yeah, they have a country of 1 billion people, but they can definitely do it. It's probably less of a problem for them than for Japan. Japan's probably the first country that has been modernized to a point. They were ahead of us in the 80s for a good while. They actually had a higher GDP per capita for a good time in the 80s. That's why, all those, if you remember all those, movies from the 80s and whatnot, they all said, Japan was going to basically rule everybody. McFry! McFry! That's, remember that from Back to the Future Part 2? Yeah, so, everybody thought that Japan was going to rule the world, and then the bubble economy popped, and, they've been stagnated since the 90s. But, look, the reality is Japan will be fine. Look, once its aging population goes out, the younger generation, which has been, basically tied up in their, in their little apartments, living with mom and dad, just watching anime and playing PS4 and all day and Nintendo Switch. Now they'll finally be able to afford apartments that was, taken by Obasan, when she passed at the young age of 109. I don't know. Again, yeah, I'm being facetious here, but it is what it is. Can I have some humor? When can Amtrak start entering Canada for tourism? I mean, they have some trains to Canada, right? I believe to Toronto, I believe. Once this crisis is over, and again, this is going to be up to the governments. When do you want to end this crisis and start getting everybody to work? When? Gramble, let's be honest. Who doesn't the government have to be worth hiding when they've been doing most of the cover-ups? Yeah, that's true. Look, and it's government and it's business. Hey, look, Amazon and Microsoft. Well, I want to say Amazon, Microsoft. Look, if Twitter can take off the acting president of the United States, and not getting. Look, if everybody thought that Trump was unhinged, notice he didn't do anything to Twitter. He just stood silent and just stood away. He didn't do anything. He just let he just slouched over and let Twitter take it. He took it from Twitter. Big tech owns a lot of the government. So yeah, it's basically like oligarchy between big business and government. And government is just basically the one with the in the chat. Yeah, we'll be talking about Amtrak expansions, guys. We'll be talking about it. And I believe I touched about Caltrans electrification too in a well, again, when I say earlier stream, I haven't streamed in like 3 months. So, well, technically 2. It was the end of December. Really quick, let's look at this since we were talking about Pittsburgh. Oh, they're doing that for me. Okay, well, look, let's just look at the headline. Port Authority pondering when to replace light rail vehicles for $400 to $500 million. If anybody's familiar, so Pittsburgh has a pretty expansive light rail network that they've had for a good long time. But yeah, they're pretty old trains. They're like from the late 70s and 80s. But yeah, look, it's better sooner rather than later. I mean, unless you want to be hip and cool and just have nostalgic trains there, but they get old after a time. But they're not the only place looking for new trains now. DC is getting new trains from Hitachi, which Hitachi's been doing a pretty good job with their new metro trains. They got some for New York, they got some for Miami, and now for DC. Hitachi's been doing a pretty good job. Again, if they make the trains over here. Worldwide Rail fan, what's going on with Brightline West right now? I've been working on a 7-part series on American high-speed rail that will be coming out in the next few days. Oh, cool. And I couldn't find much info on Brightline West. So Brightline West, I think if I remember correctly, I was looking I think the last part of news came in February. I didn't put that in this news part because, maybe I should have. But so Brightline West already got, I think, set up with the right-of-way. They got that set down with the California and Nevada governments. Don't take my word for it, but trust but verify. So verify that and see. But yeah. Do you mean via rail California? No, I'm meaning Amtrak does go to Toronto and then goes on to via rail, whatever you guys want to call it over there, up there. I don't know, but yeah, it does. They do. Amtrak and Via do have some connections between themselves. Yeah, Caltrans got over 80% of the electric done. Well, let's look at this. Hitachi Rail finalizes contract to build up to 800 DC Metro cars. $2.2 billion deal. That's very good. Yeah, I remember going on a DC Metro a while back, like back in like 20, I think it was 2015, 2016. But yeah, I went on there. Those trains are just, they're old. They're old. I mean, you can just hear them squeal and screech. Not as bad as BART, but they're pretty bad. So yeah, it's been a long time coming for DC. So this is good. This is very good. All right, let's get to Amtrak. Let's get some fun with Amtrak here. So I don't know, you guys can all see this. We put this out on the Facebook group. By the way, Ruben has been doing a fantastic job keeping the Facebook page up. What a king. That guy has just been doing just fantastic work. But yeah. So here we go. Amtrak's Phase 6 paint scheme, one of a series of special designs to commemorate its 50th anniversary. So yeah, they're doing a lot of different themes here, like a day one paint scheme. This is from like the first Amtrak schemes when they took all the old EMDs and started just painting them. They just painted in black and just said Amtrak. That's it. Look at that. The Midnight Blue scheme. I think it's commemorating the workers for the Amtrak employees that run trains overnight. The Phase 3 paint scheme is like an older scheme from like the the 90s scheme, 80s 90s scheme. And there we go. Phase 1 scheme. That was another older scheme. I think they're like back in the 70s or whatnot. Guys, correct me if I'm wrong here on any of that. And yeah, that's the 50th anniversary, more modern paint scheme. There's a video here. We can just look at it. Here.
When thinking of Amtrak, most people picture a train. Over the past 50 years, we've had many different types of trains to help us connect America. And similar to how
they
fashion
had
trends and
those old,
style trends change over those years, so has the look of our
Old
trains.
Pensy trains.
I'm Matt Donnelly of
GG1s.
Amtrak's marketing department, here to explore the evolution of Amtrak paint schemes.
Pepsi can scheme. Yeah.
In 1970, Amtrak was created by an act of Congress as the National Railroad Passenger Corporation. We took over the operation of passenger train service on
Yeah, it's
May 1st,
GG1.
1971, from 20 private railroads that no longer wanted to transport
Let me look at some of the
people.
comments here.
Many railroads participating in this arrangement gave their equipment, such
Which
as
locomotive
passenger
is
cars
king
and
of the
locomotives,
Northeast
to the
Corridor? Well,
newly
it's
formed
definitely the
Amtrak.
Acela.
While there was a
one that they
logo
talked
ready at
about.
the start,
Probably
there
will
was
be
no
available
time or
next.
money for the trains to be painted into a common paint scheme, also called the livery. For the first day of operations, E8 locomotive number 4316 received a one-of-a-kind livery for a press event. It wore this unique paint for about a year, making it a short-lived but significant part of Amtrak's history. It was common to see a broad range of predecessor colors throughout.
Like I said, guys, look, this is basically when Amtrak started. It just got a hodgepodge of equipment, and they were given some infrastructure like the Northeast Corridor, and I was like, yeah, just here you go, run it. That's basically what they told them. Go run it.
Then, there wasn't a need for a livery nomenclature, and it was model railroaders that started identifying Amtrak's liveries as phases. Amtrak adopted this style of nomenclature.
There you go. Yeah,
and calls
see,
this livery
foamers
Phase
have their
1.
use.
It features silver passenger cars with large red and blue stripes, flanked by white pinstripes through the window band. A white
I gotta check out Breach Grove to see because they have some of these older ones.
Locomotives were mostly silver with a black roof and underbody, bold Amtrak red nose for increased visibility, and a large Amtrak arrow on each side. This livery earned the nickname of the Bloody Nose due to the bright red front of each train.
The anime
Adaptation to the form factor it resided
Look
on
at that
was
GG1.
sometimes necessary, as was the case with the RTG Turbo.
Turbo train.
Its stripes were set low below the windows, and the lack of a red nose set the transition for the next phase.
Yeah. I gotta do a video on some of the older. We did have some high-speed trains there, like Turbo.
Introduced in 1975,
The other
Phase
Turbo
2
train.
was a subtle refinement of the passenger car Phase 1 livery. A more connected look.
Yeah, there you go.
throughout
See
both
these
stripes of red.
new ones.
Northeast Corridor variant with gray extending off the roof further onto
There
the
you go.
sides
Yeah,
and
so the
nose
out
were
west.
added, originally used in specific nod
There
to
you go.
Amtrak's history.
All right, so I'm pretty sure you guys can find this video, so you can go ahead and look at that. Yeah, Worldwide Rail Fan. If you get that video done, please send it to me or put it in a comment or something like that, and I'll put it out on the club on the community post so everybody else can see it. What is the cost of replacing an old historic Boston streetcar? I'm not quite sure. I mean, I can't have the answers to everything. I mean, I'll try to look up what I can. You think Amtrak and Rainbow now? Yeah, Rainbow Color Amtrak. Yeah, for one of the months. I don't know. There we are. Yeah, here we go. So Amtrak asked the Surface Transportation Board to require CSX and Norfolk Southern to allow the Gulf Coast service. It's back. It's coming back, guys. Gulf Coast is coming out back again, out of the dead. So look, a lot of good things have been happening for Amtrak just recently. Hey, you got to give it. Ever since Biden was announced as president or whatnot, Amtrak has just been going, just completely, forward for them. This is what I'm saying. It's not about Biden or anybody in the administration giving stuff to Amtrak. It's now going to be easier for Amtrak to try to get what they want out of the administration and out of Congress since it's more in their favor. Okay? In all honesty, the Democrats are just going to be more, they're going to be more favorable to Amtrak. Okay? They're not big Amtrak fans, and they're certainly not going to give Amtrak, the amount of money that they give to big business. Look, in all honesty, both parties of Congress, both parties are beholden and bought by big business. All right, that's just the reality. It's just both of them. They both are. Look how quick they are to give money to all these big companies and to back. Look, 2008, guys. Remember what happened to Occupy Wall Street? How quickly was that killed off? And that was when Obama was president. I remember seeing some articles. They were actually going to send snipers to quell down Occupy Wall Street. Yeah, they sent FBI snipers. They didn't want that to happen because it's just insane. Jeanette Sanchez, I think you asked me this before. What year's Brightline trains to the Orlando station? 2023. 2023. Brightline will be there at the Orlando station. So yeah, here we go. New Orleans, Louisiana to Mobile, Alabama. There we go. It's coming back. New Orleans. There you go. Hey, I'm technically from the South. You know, Miami's definitely not the South. It's not the South. It's its own country. But hey, well, technically where I was, there were still some Southerners there, where I was for, for a little bit of the 90s until they all left. But that was it. The Southern Rail Commissioner, the federally created entity representing Alabama, Louisiana, and Mississippi, will operate the Gulf Coast trains. It welcomed Amtrak's move. We lost passenger service along the Gulf Coast 15 years ago when Hurricane Katrina damaged the rails, and while those tracks have been repaired, passenger rail did not restart. Knox Ross, Mississippi Commissioner for the Southern Rail Commission, said in a statement, Congress directed the FRA to lead analysis to determine everything it will take to return service, and the SRC worked with the FRA to deliver the report in 2017, which identified $66 million in infrastructure needs. We have that funding now secured, and we will be ready to move forward. Our local communities are frustrated by all the years of studying and waiting, and we are hoping the public and transparent process will resolve all outstanding issues so that service can begin again soon. Yeah. So this is good. This is very good. And that's what it is. Look, and places like New Orleans have been, just economically devastated, like terribly just devastated. Like they're not coming back. Unless something drastic happens. And Amtrak at least giving back service to New Orleans, hey, at least that opens up the start for something new. Hopefully they get people from New Orleans and from these places in order to go ahead and start working at the lines. They get locals. Okay, that's what they need. People there need it. Give me 1 second. If you guys want to put some more questions here, we'll. Moe's Pizza. I'm just telling Holly here to get us pizza, a big pizza from Giacomo's. By the way, if you guys ever come to Indianapolis, Giacomo's Pizza is the best pizza. Giacomo's Pizza is the best pizza for you and me. Yeah, they're number one in the state, and I live like down the street from them. Yeah, they have one that's called the Slaughterhouse 5. Of course, based off of Kurt Vonnegut, who was born and raised here in Indianapolis. It's in Irvington, Indianapolis. Which, by the way, guys, if you guys are familiar with Washington Irving, another Hoosier who is based there. Irvington's like a nice little place. It's like 3 miles out of the city center of Indianapolis, and it's like stuck in time of like the 1920s. It looks really nice. It's got nice big sidewalks and some street lamps and local businesses. Really nice. Yeah, some hipster places, and you got like an arcade and something like that there. I haven't gone to that one. I just go to the Tappers one in in Indianapolis proper. But there, there's some really nice places there. In Irvington, it's named after Washington Irving, who made stories like the Headless Horseman and what is it, Dick Van Dyke or no what. Rip Van Winkle. That's the one I'm talking about. Not Dick Van Dyke. Rip Van Winkle. Yeah, that's a more horror story. I mean, imagine just waking up, like you fall asleep and you wake up, time traveling in the future, and everybody you know and love is dead. That's terrible. But yeah, American Horror Story. Yeah, it's like Halloween Town. You want to talk about Halloween Town? That's a real Halloween town because they take Halloween seriously there. No joke. They even have like a parade and everything. But yeah. Norfolk Southern said Amtrak's filing meant the issue was now in litigation, so it could be issued no further comment. CSX in a statement, Amtrak elected to abandon a long-standing practice of completing an Amtrak study, which the introduction of new passenger service is proposed. CSX has no further comment. Yeah, so basically, CSX and Norfolk Southern, again, a lot of the freight railroads here in the United States, maybe there are some that are more friendly to passenger rail, but CSX and Norfolk Southern definitely are not friendly to Amtrak. No comment. No, we can neither confirm nor deny that we hate Amtrak. Basically what they're saying. So they basically don't want Amtrak there because they do have a lot of freight, mostly a lot of oil, from the Gulf region. A lot of oil cars, a lot of other, freight and traffic from Mexico over to the east. That's what they're doing. A lot of cars and other materials. But yeah, they really don't want Amtrak there. That's really the thing. If Amtrak really wants to be serious, they need to hammer down on these freight railroad companies that completely and deliberately and repeatedly break the law of prioritization for passenger rail. It is a law by the FRA that passenger rail needs to have priority. If you have a freight railroad, a freight train, and a passenger rail, and they need to go into, a junction into, one rail, passenger rail needs to go first. That's the rule. But they don't do that. Because again, the freight railroads own the lines, and Amtrak is just sitting there. It's like, okay, look, if you're the skinny kid that just keeps getting your lunch money stolen by Chad Freight, it's gonna just keep happening. So hopefully Amtrak stands up, and I'm pretty sure the CEO will start hitting hard, and especially with with Buttigieg as the DOT secretary now. And here we go, Silver Star and Silver Meteor. My two old Amtrak lines I used to take all the time to New York. Well, my family lives in New York. Half my family lives there. So they're reviving the sleeping cars again because they took them off. So this is good. The Heritage Sleeper giveaway. Okay, let me go over here. So passengers opting to take the train between Boston and DC will have a long overdue alternative to the 7-hour daytime journey aboard Acela, Amtrak's fastest train. Overnight, northbound train number 60 and southbound number 67 are scheduled to 9 to 10 hours depending on the direction and day of the week. But beginning April 5th, it will feature a View Liner Sleeper. Boarding customers will get a complimentary continental breakfast box. Rather nice breakfast, but again, they're still doing that. Which, by the way, we'll talk about next. That they're bringing back some of the dining cars in the evening, and may either go to the train's cafe car for coffee and juice in the morning, or have the car's attendant deliver it, which is very nice. As is the case for Amtrak sleeping car patrons elsewhere, they are entitled to one free alcoholic beverage. Cheers. Let's see. Yeah, so this is good. They're bringing it back. Let me go back over here. Cheers. Yeah, sleeper cars. Yeah, and this is what I'm saying. Look, when having the options to have that. Look, you can't do that on the airline. You can't have sleeper cars on the airline. Look, if I could take a sleeper car, instead of taking, if you had a choice between, especially when there's inclement weather. To go ahead and chance it on an airline flight between let's say in my case, between Indianapolis and Miami, to have the 3-hour flight that could be canceled, or to take a overnight sleeper train to go over there and be in Indianapolis in the morning. I'd rather take the sleeper train. It's easy, and you have a nice fresh day there instead of basically spending half the day jet lagged and having my right ear messed up from the pressure change. That's the thing I hate about airlines, is every time my ear pops on there, and I just hate that. Maybe it was good I didn't become a jet pilot. I don't know. Maybe I would have gotten better at it, because that was a job I wanted to be when I was a kid. I wanted to be a jet fighter pilot. I was playing too much Microsoft Flight Simulator 99 back in those days. Let's see. Do you think Brightline will go further north than Jacksonville, like Savannah, or over to Tallahassee? I wouldn't say Tallahassee, but definitely Jacksonville, Savannah is definitely an option to look for, because that's at least just keep on going north. Tallahassee would require, because the rail lines to Jacksonville, Tallahassee, well, to Tallahassee, it will probably have to be through Gainesville and up there. That would make sense, but not really. I mean, look, Tallahassee really all it's got is FSU. That's really all it is. And I've been to Tallahassee. It's basically just just Florida Capitol, the state court, and FSU. And that's it. And especially FSU is just drinking all day. That's all they do. That's all FSU does. Do you think what happened to the Amtrak Turbo train sets was wrong? Yeah, I do think so. I mean, look, they were working pretty fine. They could have lasted at least another 20 years. That's just silly. Pensy fan, I joined the Discord server, by the way. Yeah, look, and I gotta get back on Discord more. The thing is, I don't go on Discord. Is that every time like I have to restart my laptop or whatnot, or turn it on, Discord always asks, oh, welcome back, but sign on in and then do this, verification and authorization and the Google authentication. I remember the old internet where you just had to go ahead and sign in with a username and a password. You didn't have to do all this, secondary authentication BS. Oh, that was good times. Yeah, look at this. Look, Amtrak offered the executive sleeper for many years a Washington, New York car that was dropped northbound or added southbound at Penn Station. On December 9th, 1991, passengers could board the 10-roomette, 6 double-bedroom Heritage sleeping car, the Beatrice McDonald, anytime after 9:30. It would be coupled to the Night Owl, which departed New York at 3:45. Well, I don't know about getting there at 3:45 because by that time I just want to go to sleep. And again, with my messed up schedule, I'll probably be sleeping at 3:45 anyway. So yeah, this is good. The sleepers are maintained at Miami Hialeah's maintenance facility. Sweet home Hialeah. Sleep all day, drink all night, let's get popping. Yeah, that's FSU. That is FSU. So yeah, here we go. Maybe they'll get some nice Heritage cars and do the sleeper. I don't know if they're bringing. Yeah, well, Viewliner 2. Yeah, the Viewliner 2. Yeah, those aren't really Heritage cars. But yeah, those are nice. But then again, the Heritage cars, if you guys been to any of the train museums or whatnot, have you seen the cars that they had in the 1950s? They're a lot nicer than what Amtrak has. You're not sleeping next to a toilet, literally. The roomettes, you literally sleep next to a toilet. Your toilet is the seat, and it's right there. You just open it up, and then you have that, the swoosh next to those stupid. I hate those faucets. This is one thing I hate about, the one thing I hate on Amtrak is those stupid faucets. I hate those stupid faucets. Yeah, the turbos did caught on fire multiple times and had high maintenance costs. Yeah, that was the reason why they got rid of the turbos. Same thing like the Concorde. High maintenance costs. But you gotta say, look, the turbos were pretty cool. They could have fixed them, or they could have had maybe a second version of it. It's kind of like what happened to the look what happened to the Acela. It was by Bombardier, and Bombardier didn't want to go ahead and keep giving out parts and fixing it anymore, and Bombardier hasn't really been doing well in its I think, if I remember correctly, I think they're getting rid of their train services, their train manufacturing, so they went to Alstom, or no, I think Bombardier was by Alstom, not quite sure, but anyway, yeah, that makes perfect sense. You have 20-year-old train sets, let's get something new. They could have done the same thing with Turbo Train, but they didn't. Yeah, a lot of rage directed at the faucets. I hate the Amtrak faucets and the bathrooms. Those faucets are so stupid. I just want a regular faucet that if I press once, it goes on. I don't have to hold it and it does that stupid little, ridiculous, inconsistent pressure. It's just stupid. So here we go. Long distance routes are back. Hooray! 12 long distance routes are back. Here we are. So, what's coming back? So, on May 24th, the California Zephyr from Chicago to San Francisco. The Coast Starlight, Seattle to Los Angeles. The Empire Builder from Chicago to Portland, Seattle. Texas Eagle from Chicago to Los Angeles. Dallas, San Antonio, that's why it's called the Texas Eagle. It just goes on the L. The Capital Limited from D.C. to Chicago. Chicago, Orleans. The city of New Orleans. Good morning, America. How are you? New York, Boston to Chicago, Lakeshore Limited. Southwest, Chicago, Los Angeles. Look at all these trains from Chicago, guys. Again, Chicago, New York. Again, it makes sense. The Crescent Line, New York to New Orleans on June 7th. May 31st, all these trains. June 7th, Crescent, Palmetto, the Silver Meteor, and the Silver Star. Daily service is coming back once again. Yeah, the California Zephyr had its own song. Can you do it on the Gateway Project? Yeah, I gotta look more on the Gateway Project. There hasn't been any much more news on that. And also, American, what was that called? American Star Project. There was like a consortium of a P3 project that was like an alternative to Gateway. But I gotta get with that. It's a Gateway Project. So let's do that. Someone's saying about Colorado's getting streetcars, Colorado Springs. Yeah, if you guys have any links, put them on here. Well, I don't know. Well, then again, yeah, no. The links I can't access the links because YouTube Studio on my PC is being a piece of crap. But yeah. Let's get some more questions over here. Update on the Pikes Peak Railway. Tennessee Pass in Colorado is being built. The Pikes Peak Railway. I haven't heard much on the Pikes Peak Railway. Well, we have like 3 more Amtrak articles left, and then we'll look at all that. Again, we're gonna have a long live stream here because it's been a while, and I think everybody's being nice and cool here. We're still at 54 viewers. So that's pretty good. Very good. Oh wait, we already talked about this. The Amtrak New Orleans. Let's get rid of that. Oh, here we go. Bill Flynn, CEO. Bill Flynn. Stephen Gardner is the president. So here we are. And Bill Flynn's the CEO still. We thank Senate Majority Leader, Chuck Schumer and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and the many champions of Amtrak on both sides of the aisle. Yes, there are. There are some Republicans that do like Amtrak, who helped secure $1.7 billion in federal funding for Amtrak and the American Rescue Plan. I mean, $1.7 billion, not as much of what the airlines got. Not that much, but hey, it's something. This critical funding will benefit the entire Amtrak network, our state and commuter partners, customers, and employees. With this support, we can restore daily long-distance service. Yeah, that's what they did. Bringing it back. Bring back furloughed employees as a result of the pandemic, which is very good, and continue our progress on vital capital projects. We work closely with Congress and the Biden administration on next steps for funding to support Amtrak's long-term growth. Funding options include expanding the Amtrak network through new corridor routes that will create thousands of new jobs and reducing our nation's carbon footprint and helping the economy recover and flourish in the years ahead. Again, yeah, they've been doing pretty well. I would say the progress they've done in just the last several months has been progress they would do in years. Ever since November, they've been doing some pretty good progress. And here we go. They're coming back with some of the dining cars. Oh wait, no, this is an old article. Okay, well that's it. All right, so let's look at some of the questions here. So we'll spend the next 15 minutes or so looking at some questions. New traumas are coming to. I think you mean new trains. Although, yeah, new traumas are coming all over Europe, I guess. Any update on the Brightline? Jeanette, I've told you already. They're doing that in 2030. 2023, not 2033. 2033 is like whenever they get California done. If that, that's being too generous for California. New train sets from the Pikes Peak Railway are on their way from Switzerland. Yeah, I think we cover that. Let me go ahead and let's bring that up again. Pikes Peak Railway. News. They're preparing to open. Here we are. Here's some recent news. Here we go. I don't know if you guys can hear this.
Planning and construction, the railway is just months away from reopening now. Besides, Aaron Chapman live in Manitou Springs with what riders can expect. Aaron.
Hey, what did you do? Oh,
yes,
just
Elizabeth,
a transition.
The COG Railway has been under construction for just about 3 years. And I spoke with the general manager of the project today, and he tells me that they are right on track for it to be completed by May.
Back in 2017, the 130-year-old Pikes Peak Cog Railway that took passengers all the way up to the summit closed.
Maintenance costs were rising so quickly. We had a lot of old equipment, a lot of out-of-date track.
However, after 1 year, Spencer Wren, the railway's general manager, says there was discussion to rebuild the track and to construct what was missed.
We took a long, hard look at everything. We had to see if it was really worthwhile.
See one of the trending stories over here. Biden doing just great.
Construction began in March of 2019 to bring back the unique train ride experience.
we're taking something old and making it new, but we still want it to be the same experience that's provided memories for generations.
That's good. I don't know if
Ted
they're
Johnston, Cog Railway's assistant general manager, says
I don't think
the
they show the
railway
new
will
ones.
have new tracks, infrastructure, trains, and a depot facility.
Not reinventing, but renovating the experience here.
Johnson says while there were
Let's see. We got any more questions here? Put some more questions, guys. If you got any questions, I'll see if I can answer them and look up look up some of the answers if I don't know them offhand.
And hopefully get this region back up on its feet after a tough year last year.
They wouldn't be this far along today without the focus and determination of his team.
Put our heads down and got through it. We didn't want to. We knew we had to get this done. And once we realized the height of the pandemic, what it was really doing, we recognized that getting this done and getting this reopened would be very important for this region. We're just now kind of in the home stretch to get reopened for May.
How is El Paso streetcar? El Paso's getting a streetcar
Now,
too?
the COG has not released what ticket prices will be, but we'll keep you updated.
All right, so there you go. There's Pikes Peak. Let's go ahead and look at Colorado and Colorado Springs. Colorado Springs streetcar and El Paso. If there's anything else you guys want me to look up, let me know. We'll probably end this at around like 12:30 or 12:35 or so. Yeah, opened for service in 2018. Okay. It's a Wikipedia article on it. Okay. What is the status of the Gateway project? Right now, the Gateway project is just on hold, especially with what's going on with Governor Cuomo. I don't think he's too worried about the Gateway project right now. So we'll see. It'll get done. Whether it's Cuomo or somebody else. Which if I bet money on that, I probably would have been wrong. I'm not gonna do anything to Cuomo. He's too powerful. He'll probably just make people disappear. Here we go. Here's the El Paso streetcar. It's the Wikipedia article. So it looks like they had a previous system that closed back in the 70s. It probably started, 1902. And then they brought it back again. Rolling stock. Let's see if there's any news on that. There we go. Due to coronavirus. Oh, look at that. There's some classic looking cars. I don't know if those are the actual classic ones or just some newer ones that just trying to look like them. Yeah, this is pretty cool. Look at that. Okay, 50s paint scheme, 60s paint scheme, and 70s paint scheme. All right, cool. Fair. Anything news? Any news? Let's go to news. See any news releases. But you guys up to anything? Offering free rides to COVID-19 vaccination sites. And you can take advantage of that and just say every day I'm getting a COVID booster. Well, they'll probably be doing that anyway. With the amount of new COVID mutations that they're saying is coming around. There you go. Yeah, they were awarded a federal public transportation grant, about $250,000, $225,000. Undergoing required monthly testing, suspended on Thanksgiving Day and on Sundays. Sun Metro to offer free ride to polling stations on Election Day. Okay. Yeah, look at that. City of El Paso receives $40 million in recovery funding for public transit. Okay. How much of that did they get? Because if they only got 225 from that, I mean, what? That's good for maybe 1 month of service or something. Those are good. Okay, so they are the original. That's according to Ryan Rail. Okay, so that's what Colorado Springs wants to do. Acela Fran, I'm trying to see some of your, I'm trying to see some of your comments, but every time they keep getting retracted or something. I don't know if you have a 5-second delay on them or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Okay, let's add that over here, and let's go ahead and see Colorado Springs. Colorado Springs Street. Oh, I was looking at that already. Okay, well, interesting. An eatery, streetcar 520. Pikes Peak historical streetcar. Okay, let's look at the news. Woman killed by her own car in West Colorado Springs. That's not what I'm looking for. Street racer clocked going 108 in Denver. Loses car for 6 months. Ha. I've gone 125. Or I may not have gone 140. Statute of limitations can't get me now. I don't care. I may have gone. You don't know when. Don't know when. Police can't catch me. They won't catch me. They won't break me. I'm innocent. That Guns N' Roses song. Now all I'm getting is man crashing into courthouse, Colorado Springs. What? Colorado Springs, what's going on? What kind of drivers you got there? Jeez, look at this. 1 hour ago, 10 hours ago, 6 hours ago, man arrested for crashing. Street racer, 5 hours ago. Woman killed by her own car in West Colorado Springs, 16 hours ago. Yeah, you guys can't drive. I think you do need a streetcar. Jeez. So hopefully don't get somebody from Colorado Springs to drive the car. You'll kill everybody. Holy crap. My God. Oh, hold on. Let me just so you guys can see. Look at this. I'm not making this up. Look at this. This is why we can't be having cars too much. You know, the proliferation of cars in the United States has been a mistake. The Industrial Revolution has been a mistake. Look at this. Woman killed by her own car. I mean, it's not funny, but I mean, still. Street racer clock going 108. Man arrested for crashing into court. It's like 6 hours, 5 hours, 16 hours, 10 hours. Colorado man crash. Well, that's the same one. Colorado crime wave. Yeah. Targeting street racing in Colorado Springs. Holy crap. This is awful. This is awful, guys. All right, let's see if this is it. Now, this is the Pikes Peak Trolley Museum and Restoration Shop. I'm not seeing anything for a Colorado streetcar, but you guys need it. I don't know. This is Mad Max over here. Holy crap. I don't know. Maybe 420 culture is not a good idea for Colorado after all. I don't know. This is insane. All right. The truck was empty, I think. I don't know. Look at streetcars use on the. All right. Let's look at one more, and then we'll call it a night. What do you think about the Tennessee Bad being rebuilt by a new railroad company? I'm not familiar with that at all. Tennessee Bad? I don't know. Miami needs better public transportation. Drivers down here. Yeah, that's. In all honesty, the drivers in Miami are another level of absolute insanity. Yeah, but that's a whole different thing. Type in streetcar plans. Okay, we'll type in streetcar plans. Let me see if I put streetcar in one word, and then maybe we'll look it up. I don't know, maybe DuckDuckGo is not good. U.S. Streetcar System, Colorado, okay. Let's see. Railway preservation. There's not much out of here. Alright. Maybe I shouldn't be using DuckDuckGo, I don't know. Yeah, sometimes DuckDuckGo works and sometimes not, and then Google just does a better job sometimes, I don't know. I mean, I try my best to just try to stick on DuckDuckGo, but, you know, that's what it is. All right, maybe the Heritage Trolley. Is that it? Oh, man. Well, talk about the good old internet. That website looks like it's from 2002. All right. Tennessee Pass is a rail route. All right. Forget Florida, man. Colorado Springs is where it's at, yeah. Okay, Ashkar, let me just look one more, okay, and then we'll just do one more thing before this, and then we'll call it a night here, because it's 10:27. Let's go look on Google. Let's see. Colorado Springs streetcar plans. I see museum. Here we are. Colorado streetcar group plans to make bid on property. Okay, it looks like Google won this out here. Google won this match. Okay, so they're making a bid on property over here. A nonprofit that wants to put trolleys on Colorado Springs streets is nearing a deadline to acquire downtown property for a museum, offices, storage, and maintenance. Okay. The Pikes Peak Historical Railway Foundation, which owns the rights to put streetcars in the city, will submit a bid for a large parcel of land by Friday. What Friday went? Oh, this is 2014. Why didn't I look at that? Yeah, this is 2014, and you know, if maybe there's some new news, but I'm not seeing anything. Historic streetcar systems in Colorado. Springs streetcars no longer desired. That's from 2017. And anything in the news? Denver opponents on group living amendment want repeal. Stop illegal street racing after I-2225. Well, geez. Yeah. All right, look, I'm sorry. I didn't find anything on Colorado Springs. All right, let's see. Last one. Yeah, are you planning to finish the... Yeah, I got to do that, too. That's just a big video. You think this video was big? This one is going to be like 30 minutes at least. All right. What you got there, honey?
Somebody wants his daddy because he broke into the trash and ate it.
What? Oh, come on here, you little raccoon. Get over here. Look at this. There you go. Say hi to Holly there, everybody.
Hi.
There you are. And there's this little guy, Hans, if you guys remember. Hans, our little mascot, our little long boy over here. Thank you, hon. Mm-hmm. All right. But yeah, here we go. Here's a little doggo. All right. Union Pacific are forced to give Tennessee plans to another railroad station. Okay, buddy, say hi. Hi. And then give me my hands back. Get out of here, dog. I know you want to be a human, but you ain't no human. You ain't no fur baby either. I'm falling for that. Ain't no fur babies. not here. Yeah, Ryan, if you have a map, just send me the map. arcsecretary1@gmail.com. Okay. What do you guys want me to look at here? There's a lot of streetcars. We gotta do a streetcar episode. Because streetcars have been doing very well here in the United States recently. A streetcar revival. That's what I'm going to make that video. I don't know if anybody else has done it, but I'm definitely going to do it. And if they have, I'm going to do the better one. I don't care. We do the best videos here. The best rail videos. Alright, guys. We're going to call it there. Okay, look up the Tennessee Pass. Alright, we're going to look up the Tennessee Pass. Let's do this. Tennessee. 2 E's. 2 N's. 2 E's. Tennessee Pass. There we go. There we go. That was simple. Definitely a lot easier than the Colorado Springs one. What's with all the Colorado stuff? No, get out of the way. I'm not going to pay. Don't miss the thing. I don't care. Get out of my way. There's the X. Jeez, and they have to hide it. They have to make it so faded and out of the way. All right. Potential operator of trains on Colorado's Tennessee Pass promises rail line wouldn't transport crude oil. Okay. Communities along the long dormant line between Cannon City and Gypsum, I don't know how that's pronounced, remain wary. Yeah. I've told you about oil on trains. Again, this is where pipelines work. Having pipelines with oil is a lot safer and a lot more efficient than having oil on trains. There's some places where it's a little bit too expensive to create an oil pipeline. Not most of the time, but yeah. Look, we just want things that make sense. That's all we want. Let's see. Colorado, Midland, and Pacific Railroad, which is vying to run trains across the long, dormant Tennessee Pass line between Kansas City and Gibson, will promise it will never transport crude oil, coal, or hazardous material on the line. Okay, so this is a freight railroad. The nascent railroad operators plan to return trains to a line that has been idle since 1997, route residents of Eagle, Lake, and Chaffee counties. In response to the company's application to the Surface Transportation Board, the STB, dozens of residents and environmental groups filed letters of opposition, expressing concern for potential transport of crude over Tennessee Pass and along the Arkansas River through Buena Vista, Browns Canyon, and Salida. How many Buena Vistas are there? The rail operator's parent, Rio Grande or Pacific Corp, I guess, Rio Grande, because we're in America, is planning a new railroad in Utah to connect Uinta Basin oil fields with the national rail network. The Texas-based Colorado, Midland, and Pacific has repeatedly said it would not transport oil over Tennessee Pass. Look at that. That's funny. Texas-based Colorado, Midland, transporting oil over the Tennessee Pass. Well, they're not going to transport oil. I mean, look, it wouldn't make sense for them to transport oil because there's no pipeline there, I guess, and that is a big commodity. It is. You got to admit it is. Steep grade of 3% grade, yeah. Yeah, I can see that is a big deal. Which 11 miles of the track near Camp Hales had a steep 3% grade. Yeah, you don't want another incident that happened in Canada. Which funny enough, I just watched the documentary on that. I can't even remember the name. Either that or I can't pronounce the name. Yeah, Vox did a good episode on Streetcar Revival. Yeah, I'll do a better episode than Vox. I'll do a better episode than Vox. Well, what do they run on? Like Soylent Green over there on Vox? Come on, give me a break. I can bench 225 for reps. That's probably more than all the Vox. All right, so they are planning to do passenger rail in Tennessee Pass. Okay, all right. What do you want, buddy? Oh, you want to go back out? All right, fine. Here, let me let this little guy out, and then we'll end it here. Yeah, I'm wearing shorts. So what? At home. We like shorts. Yeah, La Maganatec, or yeah, that's the incident I'm talking about. It was like 55 people were basically burned alive, incinerated, and to the point that they can't even find the bodies. That's how terrible it was. It was like it was basically the train they had no conductor on it. It just basically slid down the line and just kept on going, and up to like 60 miles an hour until it derailed and just blew up half the town, or a whole city block. It was absolutely horrible. Yeah. That's the problem, Look, oil is a big commodity, and it makes sense to have a pipeline. It makes more environmental sense to have a pipeline. For the environment, it's better for the environment. It's better for people, so they don't, incinerate, to death. It's terrible. All right. Oh, David, you're going to do a live stream in a couple minutes. All right, that's good. All right. You have mail. All right, excellent. I'm going to check that out. All right, guys. We're going to end it here. Well, we're back, and we're, hopefully I will stay on and keep the consistency up, because this has been very good so far. We've been having a very good time. Please share that Amtrak Joe video, okay? I think it's balanced. Yeah, I crap on everybody, but hey, it's what it is. It's politicians, guys. We have a chance to get something done, or at least push the bar a little bit more. But we gotta keep them on. So definitely, let's look more at the Seth Moulton plan. the Joe falling down, poor guy. Let's look at the Seth Moulton plan. Definitely, that's something I want to look at. A little bit at the Honolulu, looking at the Virgin, the whole Virgin versus Brightline, the Gateway Project, and streetcars in the USA, and of course, I'm going to start on that personal transit video and the New York MTA and Tokyo Metro. That's another big one I got to start on. So yeah. We got a lot of stuff here. So hopefully everything's going to do well. Okay, guys. We're going to stop it over here. The train is arriving at its final destination. No, not final destination where we all die, but it's a good final destination. So here we are. We are nice. We are safe. And we had a comfy ride. So I hope you all enjoyed it. Give this video a thumbs up. Like. And, well, if you're not subscribed yet, I don't know what you're doing here, but subscribe and ring that bell and share our videos with others so they can, too, become enlightened in the cult of rail. It's not a cult, guys. Yeah, we're trying to help people here. So go ahead and like and share that video. All right, everyone, thank you all for being a part of this wild and crazy ride. It is your host and conductor here, Demetrius Villa, and we'll see you all next time.